What's up, guys? I just got this new dress in the mail. I don't know how you guys like it, but I'm doing what I can, and I'm just trying to deal with the negative fallout from that last video. I'm not going to delete it, but I'm going to kind of keep it public for at least a week before I decide what to do next. And I know it kind of ruffled some feathers, but I think it ruffled the right feathers. What's up, Rick? What's up, Dylan? So I know I ruffled some feathers with that last video, and I know it might be a smaller crowd today because of that. And I really do not regret the video at all because I don't think I said anything that was out of pocket. I don't think I said anything that was wrong. What's up, Hassan? What's up, Selwood? What's up, JR? Kevin, what's good? Kervin, I was talking about consent and I was talking about how I know not all men are rapists essentially, but there's enough of them out there for us to have to be very cautious. And there's enough of them out there to give the rest of the good men a bad name. And apparently that was taken the wrong way. But I have not seen what Ray has said. Ray is very negative towards me, Hardee's. He's kind of a hater in his own right. He's kind of like a hypocrite because, he just uses my name for clout, really. And that's unfortunate, but I said what I said, and I'm not going to deny it. Yes, Sko, I do know that women essay too, and I'm so sorry that you got essayed. You deserve the same rights and victim support as anyone else. It's not always just a man. I mean, I know everyone can essay, but we know that the majority of rapists are men. I mean, that's just the fact. They commit the most violent crimes of anybody. Kevin says I shouldn't have made that video. I disagree. I think that I'm allowed to say what I want and speak my mind. Your feed is audio only. I can personally see my camera and see myself in the camera just fine, Rev. Spending what is this the year where men will, with mere paddle balding, finally embrace and loved? I don't know. You guys can see the camera? I'm not really sure. I just play with my niece a bit. I'm not very good at playing with kids, apparently. And I'm like not that great. This is a new dress. I'm not gonna always be this person that you guys agree with. I want you guys to know that I'm real and that I'm not here to always be agreeable and to pander to you guys. So if you want to be pandered to, you're on the wrong channel. So I know nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes recently even. I've had my mind shrouded by difficulty, and I realized that a lot of the darkness in my life is because of my perceptions. And I'm working on getting out of the victim mentality of learned helplessness because I know a lot of you have called me out on learned helplessness, and I recognize that within myself. I recognize the victim mindset within myself, so don't think that I don't recognize it. It's just that when you're in the victim mindset, it's very difficult to get out of it. Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad that you're still around. I know about 250 people unsubscribed, which I think is probably for the best because I want this audience to be people that are interested in all of my opinions, even the ones they disagree with. If everyone is just here to hear their own opinion out of my mouth, they're in the wrong place, and that's fine. Well, because of what you said, I 100% agree with your new video. I thought you meant that it's never women. No, I didn't mean that it's never women, Sko. I know that it can obviously be women. I know that men are abused, and when men are in domestic violence relationships as the victim, they have a lot less resources than women do, and that's a huge problem as well. I think men's rights are very important, but we think that men's rights is the exclusion of women's rights or vice versa, and I think human rights in general and ending violence in general is very important. Yeah, I guess I lost the ones that were wanting to be pandered to or here for the wrong reasons. Kevin, what's up? Would you get a normal job or will you try to make another way to make a living? I'm about to start a new Shopify store with my completed artwork. Kevin, I got this mic off Amazon for about 65 bucks. I think it might even be in my affiliate link, which is in my bio. You just have to know people and explain yourself. No wonder so many guys are attracted to you. Oh, thank you, Kevin. But you know what? I think that I'm also not afraid to, be controversial with my opinions, because I feel like if I'm being stifled by what I really believe, I'm going to lose the right people if I speak out. I'm a man who endorses a lot of what you stated in the video. Good riddance to any of the men who chose to leave. Thank you, Kale. I don't know how to say your name. Kaylee M. I don't know how to say your name. Sorry. My parents have figured out that I do YouTube, Marissa. They have sat me down about, I think we had a lag there. They have set me down. Can you guys see me now? And talked about some of the stuff that I brought up. And I had to kind of roll it back because I was inappropriately blaming them for certain things out of emotion. And you guys know that when I get emotion, I'm speaking from an emotional state of mind, like an emotional truth, so to speak, not an objective truth. So when I'm speaking from an emotional truth, I have to really watch myself, because I do say regrettable things that once I'm calmed down, I don't feel that way anymore. I don't believe that thing anymore. But I'm not a perfect person. I'm a fallible human being. I can have these irrational moments where I have very strong feelings and very negative emotions, especially when I'm PMSing, and I can be extremely irrational. And I think that's only fair. And I know that about myself. I guess that's pretty obvious, though. My opinions fluctuate with the time of the moon, or the phase of the moon, so to speak. And I have to kind of use this channel as a way to hold myself accountable to some of the negative things that I do say when I'm in a negative state of mind, because they're not always the objective truth, if that makes sense. Camus' myth of Sisyphus portrays life as a futile struggle, yet insists that rebellion against absurdity itself is a form of meaning. I don't know what that means, but it sounds really smart. I haven't used my brain critically in years, so I don't know how to think when it comes to philosophy. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at rational thought. Gerard, sorry, not sorry is the title of this video. You held a mirror in front of the incels and they hated it. Keep speaking your truth. Thank you, Brass. If people are only around because I agree with them, or because I'm saying talking points that they find familiar or comforting, and I'm doing that at the exclusion of what I actually think, then that's disingenuous. And I think it's more genuine and authentic for me to say things that not everyone agrees with, because nothing says I'm standing out from the crowd like saying the same things as everybody else. So, yeah, the 250 people that I lost were probably dangerous incels who thought I was easily accessible. Yep, exactly. I think 100% agree with you. I don't want to be easily accessible to dangerous people, so it's good that they're gone. They obviously saw themselves in that video, and if they took it personally, then they obviously think that I was talking about them, and the only reason they would think that is because they probably are that kind of person. What you said wasn't out there. Thank you, Jean. I didn't think it was that controversial either, but knowing that most of my audience is men, there are a lot of men who are against a woman's opinion when it comes to saying things about men that are true, but maybe not so positive in a positive light. I mean, I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about a general subset of people that, if it's 1 in 10, you're basically playing Russian roulette when it comes to dating. And that's something that I think men need to be conscious of from the woman's perspective. And obviously women can be toxic too. You got a lot of these girls that are selling their bodies and then expecting a husband at the end of it when they turn 35. And I don't think that's realistic either. Thank you, Hassan, for liking my transparency. I'm a fallible and perfect human being that has made bad choices and mistakes. I don't think that last video was one of them. I think if I've made any mistake on this channel, Charlie, if I've made any mistake on this channel so far, it's allowing my emotional, hyperactive, hyper overreactive state to override rational thinking and express it on the internet, where it's going to probably be forever unless I delete it, to a point where I feel like it's kind of given a misrepresentation because I've put so many of my negative takes out there that it seems that maybe my situation is worse than it actually is. And in those moments, it feels that way. I'm not lying when I'm saying those things. I'm not grifting, or I'm not pretending. I'm just letting you guys know that I'm kind of irrational. And sometimes when I'm emotional, I'm saying things that I mean in the moment that I want to take back later. And I'm leaving them up here because I want to be authentic, and I want to look back on these to see my growth. What's up, Michael? Boosted pastime, hello. Pat Riley, did I read all of your comments on the last video? There were lots of comments. There were so many comments, it was actually crazy. I got the most dislikes I've ever gotten on a video and the most comments I've ever gotten on a video. So it's interesting that when you have a controversial topic, a lot of people are willing to engage in the conversation. What's up, John? It's very important that you are and all of us are honest as possible because it's the best way to resolve all these important issues. Thank you, John. What's up, Desolate? Schopenhauer's metaphysics centers on the will. I'm not really familiar with the philosophy. I know I've read Schopenhauer at one point, but it's probably been about 10 years. Thank you, guys. I'm about to start a new Shopify soon. Thank you, Axel. This is a new dress. I got it with my YouTube money. You guys actually helped pay for it. It was $30. Some modern pessimists argue that misery is structurally embedded in the human condition. I agree completely. It is beyond political or social reform. A lot of religions say that we have a fallen nature by default. You know what's interesting is that I feel like it's a shame that we have to all be blamed for Eve's transgressions. I don't know why she has to represent all women. And at the same time, I don't think she even deceived Adam that much. I think he just went along with it, which is kind of beta, honestly. Like, why did he just go along with her if he's the leader? You know what I mean? He knew the truth too, right? I feel like we blame Eve for just being a human being. And then she threw it all away because metaphorically, Eve ruined it all for us, I guess, apparently. And that's how we justify a lot of the things that we put up with as women through the patriarchy, I guess. And I know you guys don't like it. Cam, thank you for saying the dress looks good. I wasn't really sure about it. I'm working on an eBay store. Raiju, that's great. Shelby, I'm saying this because I'm concerned. You don't want to become an LOL cow. I don't know what that means, Coco. What is an LOL cow? There is no such thing as anyone knowing the rules to life. That includes the so-called experts. They are infallible. Life is about learning from mistakes and trying to get through life. Thank you, Roy. I agree with that. We all fuck up. I've never done anything that's so regrettable that I can't come back from it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never gone down the rabbit hole with drugs. I've never committed a crime. A serious crime, that is. Adam was beta as hell boosted past time. Like, he just follows Eve and he's like, oh, the apple that we're not supposed to eat. You know what? I'm going to blame it on you for suggesting that we should do something that we're not supposed to do. Therefore, defer all responsibility for the rest of time onto women from now on. So crazy. The View sees suffering not as a glitch. Oh, okay. Nobody's perfect. Thank you, Hassan. And I like those new poems you sent me. I read through the first bunch of them. I was saying Eve did not really deceive Adam. She didn't try to say anything was false that wasn't true. She just presented Adam with the temptation, and he also decided to take a bite of the apple as well. But anyway, you have the same viewpoint on Adam as Eve as me. Adam sat there and said, okay, instead of saying no. Right. Like, he's a follower. That's so beta. He followed his woman into temptation. That's beta. If he was the real leader and the real spiritual leader of this dynamic, he would have said, put the fucking apple down, ho, and let's not do that today. But no, that's not what happened. He just went along with it because why not just blame women for all eternity for tempting men for their own choices? You know what I mean? That's the Bible for you. It's so weird. Thank you, ULV, despite the bad taste video. I don't think it was in bad taste. I think I got rid of the right people. Boosted pastime, I agree. Adam and Eve, they're in the same person. In Gnosticism, the soul gets split into two. Interesting. Jesus Christ had to undo their sins for so long. I mean, damn, it's really crazy. You don't have to stay if you don't like the last video. I mean, the thing is that if someone is willing to unsubscribe for one video out of like 50 that they disagree with, that's a them problem and not a me problem. He could not let her go down alone. Why not? He didn't have to follow suit. He didn't have to do that. Oh, shoot. I almost dropped my microphone. We made a video to reacting to yours and included Ray's video. His reaction really proved your points. Interesting, official. I have not seen Raymond's video. I have stopped kind of watching his videos because I know he's said a lot of negative things about me and used me for clout recently. Just because you have a bad taste in your mouth out of something that I really said out of my own truth doesn't mean that it's not in good taste. It just means that it's not your flavor. And we can't all have the same tastes. Oh, damn. I'm collapsing. I got some paintings right here that I wanted to show you. I think I've already shown these before. I know you guys probably know this. I haven't spoken on it recently, but I was diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease. And inflammatory bowel disease is essentially where your immune system attacks your digestive system and you get these intense burning ulcers inside of your body that cause internal bleeding, and the pain is horrific. So I was doing a series of paintings on IBD. I don't really like this one so much. I think I could probably still work on it. Raymond has admitted that he was an alcoholic and he probably abused past relationships as well, as most addicts do. RPM, thank you so much. Thank you for that. It's going to go right towards the right spots, and I'm going to use it to make more art and maybe buy a dress again. I got to give a hoot for RPM. I like this one. It's interesting. It's a little more cool color, though. I don't want to feed into Raymond because the more I say his name, the more excited he gets. He's probably gooning to this right now. He probably goons to the idea of my demise. Okay, Chewy, if I'm delusional, I probably am not perfectly rational. I'm going to be honest with you, Chewy. I'm not perfectly rational. I have beliefs that are probably irrational, that are probably not true, that are probably not serving me. Why? Because I'm a human being, not because I'm a pathological person. I don't think there's anything about me that is diagnosably pathological. I have nothing wrong with cosplaying. If he wants to cosplay, he can do that, whatever. I'm not going to diss anybody's hobbies. I sometimes talk fast and I sometimes talk slow. I think really slow in my head, which is crazy. Raymond is a negative narc IMO. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And I think most people do, especially men. However, he is so negative that it's literally unbearable. That's his audience. Audience is of people that have no hope, that want no hope of change. You know, my channel has extremely negative moments. I've had people criticize me and call me a lot of things because of my negativity, and they think that I'm making it up for clout. I don't know how to cry on command. I'm going to put it like that. I don't know how to fake cry. When I'm crying, it's because I'm in a bad mood, and I just decide to turn on the camera. And the majority of my videos, out of like the 50, I don't know how many videos I got right now, a ton of videos, there's probably like 10 out of that are crash out videos. So most of my videos are not even crash out videos. This is a Deckle Edge watercolor paper that I found on Amazon, and I thought it was very interesting. I had to brace it with some other paper, though, because it was not holding the paint very well. I thought this would be a good bigger painting. This was a rough draft for a bigger idea of a reflective painting. Anyway, this is a fox. What does the fox say? Shelby, this crash out shouts will make you a LOL cow. Think before you post. I don't even know what an LOL cow is. I'm sure it's like an incel meme or something, like the lion and the gorilla or the chimpanzee meme. Have you seen this lion and gorilla chimpanzee meme recently? I'm probably already an LOL cow and I don't even know it. You guys are gonna have to explain LOL cow to me. I don't even want to click on that because I might get like gooned on or something. What's up, Steven? Thank you guys. Please show us the wolf painting in the background. I guess I can bring it a little bit closer. It does need some extra work on it, though. It probably could use an extra layer. I'll bring it up here. What is an LOL cow? Is that porn? I hope I'm not. I obviously don't want to be. I don't want to Google it either because I don't want to get a virus on my computer. You're just saying internet buzzwords. Isolation has made you actually crazy. Okay, Freedom. If you say so. There are some times I have tried buzzwords as a strategy to get more views. I'll admit that. I'm trying a lot of different strategies. I think I'm going to try hiring an editor next. So I'm going to do some light editing on my videos that I can now afford through someone else. And I'm just trying to find the right person to do some editing on my videos to make them a little more YouTube-y, a little more polished, but still very authentic to me. Let me go grab that, let me go grab that wolf. It's not completely done yet. It needs another layer. I really like the way this one turned out. I like that I incorporated a landscape and it has more of a storytelling type element in it, I guess. The thing is, guys, I'm like working on so many different projects at the same time because I have ADHD. This peacock I'm still working on. It needs a little more refining. It's pretty rough right now, but it has like, it has enough paint on it to where there's a nice impasto texture, but I want to make the paint even thicker than it already is. And I think that's going to just have to be done soon. Thank you, guys. I think part of authenticity is not being afraid to say the things that no one else wants to say, and it's about not being accepted sometimes. Do you realize, look, if you keep posting those videos on the internet, you can take the video and make you LOL cow. Is that like a deep fake or something? Like, is that like where they created this thing where they make it look like you're doing things that you're not doing? Thank you, Barry. I'm pretty self-conscious about my work. It's not something that I always am proud of. I've never been really satisfied with my work, so it does help to hear people that are supportive of it. I'm not even gonna Google LOL cow. I've gone my whole life without knowing what LOL cow is, and I'm not gonna learn what that is today. So, yeah, guys. You watched Raymond's reaction. I felt sick because I was way overboard, and they were very really mean to you. Yeah, a lot of people are very mean to me, Isabella. I think it's too much. I wasn't just a different opinion. It was an attack on most of your audience who are lonely men. It was actually mean. Oh my God, they're coming after. He's coming after you. I know a lot of like my haters have called you guys simps, but I don't think you guys are simps because we always have a discourse in the comments and in the chat where you guys are thinking for yourself and challenging me quite often. So it's not like you guys just follow me by default. I think we have rational discourse and we challenge each other in the chat quite frequently. I've learned a lot from you guys, so I don't think you guys are just going along with me because you can or because you're stupid. What will I do when I'm homeless? I was literally watching a video on that today. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I agree with about 99% of what Raymond says. However, I don't want to be reminded about it all the time, which is why I watch Shelby. Thank you, Boosted Pastime. I'm trying to do more unscripted videos. It's just really hard for me to talk for 20 minutes straight without having some notes down, but I'm trying to make it a little more organic again so that I have the talking points, but maybe I can memorize the script a bit and take more time to do that so it's a little more natural. Thanks, Woof Woogie. Think of me as a friend I haven't seen in a while. That's nice. The incels love a new target. Rice Perry, you know what I've noticed is that the internet is just very mercurial. It's very irrational. People love you one moment and then they'll take you off your pedestal the next moment. And you can't really depend on positive comments and you can't really depend on negative comments because you have to be neutral about both levels of feedback. You do such a good job of long form videos. Thank you, Michael. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm probably going to incorporate some light edits in there soon. I have to wait till my next check hits so that I can hire an editor. And I'm probably going to try it out for the next like 10 videos, probably starting in December. So December will be the first time that I'm probably taking more time on each video. So there's going to be less videos, but they're going to be higher quality. And I'm going to see if quantity is better or quality is better. And a lot of that's going to have to do with viewer engagement and your guys' opinions as well. So I'll probably be posting like maybe 2 videos a week instead of, constantly. Shelby, people are mean to you because you are authentic and genuine, and usually that means that they are fake and not genuine. Thank you, Biz to Pastime. A LOL cow is a person on the internet who is repeatedly mocked or trolled because of their embarrassing behavior, often without realizing they're being laughed at. Oh, okay, Desolate. Okay. So we're basically just coming for people with autism at this point. And we're just mocking them behind our back. It's like kind of like when you're nice to someone's face, but in secret you have like an entire group chat about how stupid they are, or as soon as they leave, you shit talk them. The thing about people that shit talk you when you're not there, people that shit talk you when you're not there are going to do the exact same thing to every single other person in that friend group that's participating in that behavior. They eventually all turn on each other. You're a fantastic artist, so talented. Thank you, Amelia. Mega Gaming Channel. I've thought about Aziz Zamora. Mental breakdowns are patterns. I'm a follower and a fan. I'm not your simp. Thank you, Boosted. I've never seen you as a simp. I don't see any of you guys as simps. I don't think that qualifies for you guys because most of my viewers are very rational thinkers or free thinkers, and they're free to disagree with me. A Congo, thank you for that super chat. A sister that I've never had rather than anything else. I appreciate that, Boosted. I like having a sister or a new brother. I've never had a brother. I'm about to have a nephew, though. I don't know if you guys heard, but my sister is pregnant with her second child. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know where they're even going to put it, to be honest with you. It's crazy. I'm here, and you are a hypocrite. Andre, you might be right. I could be a hypocrite. I've said some contradictory things on my channel. I've said things in one mood, and then I've said the opposite things when I'm feeling something different. I think I'm not really a hypocrite. Maybe I'm just irrational sometimes because that's my nature and that's the way I am. And I don't think my irrational ways should be completely pathologized. I'm not a perfect person, and I'm open to feedback. The internet is kind of like watching a toilet flush. When you see the water just circle around the bowl, it goes down the drain. Thank you, Boosted. That's true. In the silence between prayer, I found a voice not of heaven, but of fire, whispering truths too sharp for angels to hold. I walked where light refused to follow, beneath the weight of forgotten oaths. Is that a song, or did you write that? Because that was really good. Was that by somebody else? I'm the sister you guys never had. I'll take it. Maybe I'm like the aunt to some of you guys. Maybe I'm the older cousin. I don't know. Thank you, ULV. Woof woof. You don't deserve any empathy, Shelby, when you don't show any. Okay, Andre. So I think there's something called what am I supposed to show empathy towards again, by the way? What am I supposed to show empathy towards? Because a lot of people weaponize the idea of empathy because they want you to enable their behavior. And I'm not here to enable behavior that I disagree with. And if you're going to punish me for not being an enabler, then I'm not the problem. But if you can't control me, you're going to control the way people see me because that's what toxic people actually do. I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. Accepting Jesus changed my relationship with life. I'm glad that you had that experience, Nicholas. I have such a negative experience with the people of the church. I think that maybe Jesus is real. Maybe he was the Messiah. But the church and the people within it, for me, have been extremely exclusionary for me as a neurodivergent. I have been extremely excluded and extremely harmed by the congregations of traditional churches just because I didn't know how to perform Christianity as they did. And I was excluded. I was left out. I was mocked and ridiculed. And that's the way it is. What? I might have to go, guys. My mom's calling me. I'm rubbing my legs because it's kind of a way to stim. I'm not like doing anything other than that. It's just like kind of like a way to help me concentrate, I guess, Dale. Because I'm kind of have the TISM and the ADHD and I always need to be moving. It helps me think. Sure, you work to correct that. I kind of do it without even knowing that I do it. Should you work to correct that? At least acknowledge and accept it. I just acknowledged it. Woof. That I'm not always aligned with what I say, that I've said things that contradict each other, depending on my mood, that I'm irrational sometimes. I mean, what do you want? What else do you want from me? I can't change that because it's just the way I am. I'm not perfect. I have flaws that are in my nature. I'm an imperfect person and I fall short all the time. Shelby, everything you said in the video was the opposite of what happens, honestly. Every single lonely guy I know is amazing. I'm glad you have that experience, Joseph. I have had experiences where there are men who wanted me to give them a chance, who I initially said no to. And when I said yes, they ended up being a very dangerous people. And this happened about 4 different times across the course of my life until I had to realize that if a man doesn't have options, he's going to be very desperate to get whatever he can from me. And it's difficult to be that person because you're never going to live up to like the things that he's seeing online. Thank you, Brave New Radical. I'm glad you're not apologizing for yesterday's video. I didn't agree with everything, but you made some valid points. Thank you. I'm glad we can have a discourse and have disagreements and not always have to always appease each other and still have you be a part of the chat and be a part of the audience, because a lot of people just want to be pandered to and they don't like what I have to say, so they're not here anymore, and that's fine. We're better off without them. We have exchanged quantity for quality, and I'm glad that you guys are still here. I had no idea, Coco. I'm kind of a boomer. I really don't even know. I was afraid that it might have something to do with like deep fakes, where like LOL cows, like where they make a deep fake of you and then make you into like an SW star or something like that. You are quick to make excuses for your appalling behavior. Okay, Andre, I don't really even know what excuses I've made for my behavior. What are you talking about? I'm interested. I have opinions, but Dale, you can tell your opinion. I'm okay with it. Automo, I didn't agree with everything, but it was brave. Thank you. Sorry, not sorry, guys. Keep on simping. Oh, please, Cynthia. I want to be part of this journey. Thank you, Michael. I'm glad that you're here. You've been a part of it since a very early time, and I appreciate it. Do not show empathy towards snakes. Thank you, Boosted. I think people can take advantage of empathy. I think that people can take advantage of kindness. I think people mistake setting boundaries and saying, I'm not going to give any more to this particular situation emotionally, as you cutting off empathy. And what they're really saying is that I can no longer utilize your good nature to my own advantage. And they don't like it when a sensitive person stands up for themselves, because a taker has no limit to how much they will take from you. They will take from you until you are on the streets. They will take from you until you have been sold into God knows what on the streets. There are some evil people out here. There are dark empaths as well, though. If I'm being honest, the last video was a very good one. It showed well who your true supporters are and who those will turn on you to disappoint them by expressing yourself. Thank you, Wishes. I feel the exact same way. No, you need someone to monitor what you post online for your own safety. You wouldn't be able to handle being an LOL cow. Probably not, Coco, but I'm not even going to Google it. And I'm not even going to go looking for it. Yeah, Michael, Reflex, the Dark Triad is a real thing, and it is not a joke. You think that you can outsmart it. Like, I can identify who a narcissist is, right? But the last thing you want to do, and I've done this before, is call them out publicly in front of everybody. Like, if you call out an abuser and say, you are doing this to so-and-so, that's not okay, they will turn on you in a way that is so diabolical, it's actually crazy. And most of the time, that victim is not ready to leave. Like, you can do everything you can to empower victims, but there's something called secondary trauma. And I've done this before, where I went into the belly of the beast to help someone in an abusive relationship that they were not prepared or ready or willing to leave yet. And I became traumatized by proxy. It's really messed up. So people are like, why don't you just save me? Well, it's like they say that there's a drama triangle. You have the victim, the perpetrator, and the rescuer. And as soon as you become a rescuer in someone else's drama, you enter into the triangle. So it's like you want to support people, but you want to help them learn how to fish. You don't want to give them a fish. You know what I mean? And that's the job of a qualified professional, not of somebody off the street that just cares about this person. Most people say things that contradict each other. It's called the forgetting, and it's also called growing and changing and evolving. Thank you, Boosted Pastime. Just never put the Sonichi medallion on it if something sends it to you. I have no idea what that means, but I'll try that. They call it Sen. When I remembered who I was, not fallen but freed, lit no candles, I swallowed them. Wow, that's really poetic. Desolate, you are a good poet. The only winning move with narcissists is not to play. Sometimes they penalize you for sitting on the sidelines, though, PG. It's actually crazy. You can't win with them at all. There is no winning. Even if they see you and they see that you're not participating into the dynamic, either you're not agreeing with them, you're not becoming a flying monkey or an enabler, or you're not allowing them to victimize you, they will turn everyone against you. They will smear you fast. It's crazy, actually. And I've had this happen in almost every workplace that I've been in. And I could not figure out what it was that I was doing incorrectly. People just got to this point where their perception of me flipped entirely to the negative. And I could not do anything right, even when I was doing everything right. And it's really tough because I feel like, they put up with me because, okay. Dale, I didn't mean to talk fast. Sorry. I'm a 30-year-old man who is extremely lonely. Trust me, they are not so amazing. The thing is, yeah, what's up, Elsie?
Shelby,
Hello.
I put my paper in a pocket and this whistle was in my pocket.
Wow, you should give it a whistle.
Hear how loud?
Oh my gosh, that's very loud. You want to hear my hand whistle?
Yeah.
You do a finger whistle.
Yeah.
Very nice. You should practice that. I bet you can do it. I love your coat. It looks so cute on you. You're very festive today. Vegas. When a lot of people are consistently seem like they want something from you, especially if they're making allegations from you, a lot of the times.
Try a whistle?
Sure.
You made it like a bird. I made it like.
You guys want to see Vegas? She's afraid of the whistle. This is an 18. She's 18 years old. Vegas is an 18-year-old kitty cat. Okay, Elsie, that's really starting to hurt my ear.
It's making a cat growling.
Hello.
Oh.
I made a video that everyone hated, so I'm talking about it.
Here, put your trash in here.
Oh, maybe I should just get another bag.
Just put it in.
Okay.
No, paintbrush.
It's an old paintbrush. It doesn't work anymore. Wait.
Oh, jeez.
Just put it up in there upside down.
I blocked these two. These ones are blocking it, though.
I know. I was going to pull them out. Here, Elsie, hold that up for me. You got it?
I don't want to spill it.
Shake it.
Ah. There. Okay, I don't know how to fix this right. I kind of need to fix it, but
Get that thing on the bottom and put it in here. Of the trash can. From whatever other trash you got. It's in the bottom.
oh. This is probably trash.
Yeah.
This too.
Yeah, you can carry that. No, that won't go. We'll put that in the recycles. Elsie, you carry the cardboard now.
Cardboard?
Yeah, that's cardboard. That's what you call it. You recycle it. So we put it in the recycle bin.
Thank you, Mother.
I made it safe.
Love you, Elsie. She's about to be a big sister, which is going to be crazy.
Say goodbye.
Joseph Extreme, what's up? How is Raymond faked? He's a robot. Raymond is a narcissistic a-hole, and I really didn't want to say that because I actually had a lot of love for Raymond. However, his narcissism seems to far. He has this thing. Like, I don't bring him up unless he brings me up. I'm not here to shit talk anybody. I don't even keep up with him like that. He's like doing this schoolyard thing where he's like, instead of pulling my hair, he's making a combative video about me and saying that I'm a problem. But all cloud is good cloud, I guess. Thank you. I completely agree about not letting somebody turn you into what they are. However, that's easier said than done. I've actually been destiny swapped before, Boosted Pastime. There's this new phrase called destiny swapping. And it's like where someone steals your destiny and replaces it with a terrible life. So I don't want to have my destiny swapped at all. We are the fools of time and terrors. Days steal on us and steal from us, yet we live, loathing our life, and yet dreading still to die. That's lovely. There is a woman that I'm interested in, however, she knows that I have to get myself working order. Yeah, I get that. You got to be in working order for sure. I do too. That's why I'm not dating right now, is because I'm not in working order right now. Maybe if I start selling my art or get an art business off the ground. I've been thinking about doing like a dedicated art channel, and the audience would be very different from the one that's here. I would be dedicating the art channel mostly to other artists. And yeah, I love my mom. I know that I've said some negative things about her, but she's the reason I'm not homeless. So I do have a very privileged life that I have stable housing at this point. And all I have to do is just follow her rules. And I know I disagree with them and it's very stifling, but there's a lot worse things to do, because if you're in a shelter, you would also have to be following rules, and it's much worse in that way. Well, Twisted, I don't know, because I don't want to steal anybody else's destiny. I think I'm progressing into a new destiny for myself every time I make a video, every time I sit down to draw. Shelby, that video is clearly about Raymond. He took it personally. If he took it personally, there's not much I can do. If you work with musicians and other artists collaborating, I feel like you could help. I'm a musician and know people who want an artist to create an album covers for them. I've thought about doing album covers, Creepy Crawl. I don't know how much to charge for that, though. Shelby, I think you are more level-headed than a certain someone, but I do think you are a bit harsh towards men. I am harsh towards men, Rondo, because I am hurt, and I think that our scars and our pain is why we're harsh towards people. At least I can say that I know that I'm wounded, and my wounds come out with saying critical things in generalizations. I feel like other people are doing the same thing about women, but they're not being like, hey, I was actually hurt, and this is why I feel that way. Thank you, Northern Star. Oh, whatever. Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate that. It's awesome. Shelby is the light shedder, shedding light on the truth. So many things we want are unattainable. Being a light shedder, being a truth teller, being the canary in the coal mine, being a whistleblower is dangerous. People get unalived for displaying the truth against the predominant narrative. Like, you think about journalists who get unalived in war zones for reporting on very real crimes that are going unreported. And they die for this cause, but at what price? Like, I feel like most people are not that invested in foreign affairs. And yes, there's injustice that needs to be spoken about, but is it worth sacrificing your entire existence for that? Thank you, Michael. It was good. It was good to see you. Oh, I thought you were about to leave. If you're not going to leave, you can stay. Jeremiah, I'm so glad when I got my own house and became independent from my parents, when I no longer owed them money. I have this thing where I'm having intrusive thoughts. Now that I have money, I'm having anxiety over people taking my money. Does that make sense? It's like, I don't even have that much money. I have like maybe that I've saved. I don't even want to say the number. It's not very much money, okay? I haven't been able to save a lot because there was a lot of stuff I had to buy that I hadn't purchased because I had not had a job in like a year. And anyway, now that I have money, I'm starting to have anxiety over losing it. I'm starting to have anxiety over having money, or someone deceiving me and taking my money, or clicking on a phishing link, or trusting the wrong person in a joint account. Because you see these things like on the Caleb Hammer channel, where a lot of these couples end up shit's creek because they trusted the wrong person and they get robbed blind by their partner. It happens to men, it happens to women. There are really people out there that will completely take your net worth that took years to build. And we never want to discount how quickly a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife can ruin everything and rob you blind. And I can honestly say I need to work on my credit score. I think my credit score went down because I wasn't using any credit, which is crazy. So if you're not in debt, your credit score goes down, which is ridiculous. I'm not in any position to call anyone a loser. I guess Andre, you have a point. I mean, I actually mentioned that in the video where I was like, I would be okay if I was phased out from the gene pool as well. It's only fair. I mentioned that. Just keep a solo account and keep the purse strings tight. Did you guys know that I didn't have a solo account just in my name until I started this channel? Like, that says a lot about my mindset and how dependent I was and how codependent I think I am. I think I'm recovering from codependency. Future said the same thing in an old interview about the money. It's not even a lot of money. That's what's the craziest thing about it. I'm afraid of the IRS. I'm afraid of my taxes. It's like a whole new area of problems has replaced the old problems. Like, it's not the money problems, and your relationship to money when you have money doesn't actually change at all. The problems change, but your mindset, unless you change that, it's not the lack of money, it's not the having of money that seems to change your mindset towards it. It seems to be a completely independent thing. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my mindset about money. Independence is so good. It can be overwhelming, but making your own path is great. Thank you, Michael. Like, Shelby, do you have an actual story where your mom does something narcissistic? Coco, I really block it out. I think that I might just be overblowing everything. Sometimes I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was never as bad as I thought it was in my head. I really don't know if I'm crazy or something. I really don't know. It's possible. I don't want to say that I couldn't be wrong, but I feel like when I say that I could be wrong, then people jump in and say you were wrong. And then I feel like maybe they're gaslighting me. But I really don't know. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself. I don't know. But anyway, either way, the past is in the past. You pay estimate quarterly. It's pretty easy to plan ahead and not get effed. That's a good idea. Chat is better now without the old simps. It's more balanced in conversation. Good to see you, Shelby. Thank you all, Louis. If you mention investing in a stock, research the startup USBC and Greg Kidd. You think it's going to 100x? Okay, Jeremiah. I'll write it down, and I'm doing the 80-20 rule. So I put 80% of my investments into a low risk, low reward investment. And then 20% I'm putting it into high risk, high reward investment. So I'll put that into my 20%. It might be a complete waste of money, but maybe it's the next Bitcoin. We don't really know. The credit score in America is crazy invention. You should reward a person who does not need credit. Exactly, Twisted. I don't really even know what I'm supposed to do with it. I don't need any loans right now. It can be tricky because you're biologically wired to believe in your mom. That's true. And I don't know if what she's doing is dysfunctional or I'm the dysfunctional one for saying that it's dysfunctional. Maybe I'm wrong. I doubt myself quite a bit. Or is the fact that I'm doubting myself just a sign of self-awareness, and the fact that she's never taken accountability for her shortcomings the problem? I really don't know. Or is she entitled to not do that because I'm her kid? I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are not questions for an internet chat room. These are questions for a therapist. And it's just too expensive to do therapy. And I really don't think it's going to change anything. It might make me more aware of things, but I'm good. You had to change your number because of Raymond, Linda? Oh my God. Linda, is that for real? Are you serious? He has my number. He doesn't text me though. He's too busy hating me online. What is your goal with your channel? Is it just to self-expression or money? Are you trying to add value? So Axel, I'm trying to express myself and document my journey of life while hopefully showing an evolution of my character across the years. And I'm trying to figure out what my main goal is or how I'm going to end up doing this. My main goal is authenticity, and I don't want to lose authenticity. So I feel like my last video was very important to stay in line with that, because I've been afraid to say things that people will agree with. Now that I have something to lose on YouTube in terms of money, now that I'm paying my bills with this money, I have something to lose by saying something that people disagree with. So there is this newfound risk of fucking it all up and sabotaging it and throwing it all away, because we know how easily things are destroyed. But I feel like if I get away from what made this channel work in the first place, which is authenticity, realness, whether or not people agree with that, then I'm going to lose what made this channel work in the first place. And if people are not resonating with the authenticity that I'm putting down, then they shouldn't be here in the first place. That's my opinion. It's to be expected. Always have a backup plan. Thank you, Cam. Well, technically, pagan Gnostic or Gnosticism isn't bad. It's about creation and duality. My expenses are pretty low. I really don't have any bills besides my car insurance and my health insurance and food and my medicine and my doctor's appointments. Listen to her speak. That's a woman who knows a lot and has a lot of introspection and observation on how people behave. Thank you, Isabella. I thought the veil of creation, a blade forged in the silence before light. The stars recoil as I chant the names erased by law. Inverted sigils bleeding through the skin of the dim mirage. I can't say that last word, desolate. You got me on that word. I'm not sure what that is. I'm probably going to do the S&P 500, John. That seems to be pretty stable. In terms of the stock market, I might gamble with that 20%, do 80% in the S&P 500 and then 20% in the stock market. I called men that said nothing to you creeps for being lonely. I didn't really mean it that way, Coco. I know it was taken that way. I just mean that there are some men that are lonely. And when you give them a chance and you try to be the one to make them not lonely anymore, typically at the expense of your own safety, you find out exactly why they were lonely in the first place. And usually they end up projecting you. I ended up getting stalked. I had a guy try to SA me. It's a very fortunate thing that I was able to escape. It's like he was so, drunk. I mean, the level of dangerous situations that I put myself in through naivety, through trusting other people's good nature, through just believing that no one that I know would actually SA me, has put me into dangerous situations where that almost actually happened multiple times. It didn't just happen once. Like, I'm a slow ass learner when it comes to these men because I keep giving them second chances. So that's why it seems crazy to me that I was that girl giving these dudes a chance and I got burned pretty badly. There's a reason for them being alone in a lot of cases. I'm not saying that's true for everybody. There's a reason for me being alone. Probably reasons that I don't even know. Probably reasons that I'm not conscious of. We all have these unconscious patterns. I can't say that I'm not completely not responsible for my situation. I'm sure there was things that I did not do, that I omitted, that were not in my awareness to attempt to do, that probably would have made a difference for the way my life turned out over the last 10 years. You're generalizing lonely men, though. Not all lonely men are like this. I literally just said that. It's a very small subset of men who happen to be lonely can be dangerous. I think any man can be dangerous. Any person can be dangerous. So I kind of wanted to reiterate, and I didn't mean to make this all about lonely guys. It's just my experience with this type of archetype of a person who kind of identifies as someone that doesn't get laid. And then I give them the chance and I find out why. And typically when you reject them after giving them the chance, they are not nice about it. Thank you, Brave New Radio. I can only speak from my own anecdotal evidence, and I really did not mean to generalize. I know I was using sweeping generalizations, but I probably could have been a little more discerning and done a little more nuanced verbiage when it came to that, but overthinking it when I posted it. I kind of just do it and then I deal with the consequences later because I'm not a professional speaker or anything like that. But I think that's a very valid critique. Find a hobby or explore a current hobby with effort to find friends. I can't really connect with people who don't have shared interests. I'm the same way, Jared. I'm not really the one to give dating advice. I can only share my personal lived experience way. I don't have a lot of experience dating. Now I understand the full context of your video. I'll delete my comments. Angelo, don't worry about it. I kind of made this video to reiterate on the context because I think a lot of people took it as me saying that all people that can't get laid are terrible people. There are, unfortunately, a subset of violent incels that make it very difficult to trust the good ones. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. I think there's also just a subset of men in general that do this. It just sucks. There's women that make other women untrustworthy. Like, you think about the women that set us back years by making false SA accusations. It's like, then the real victim's integrity comes into question. It's like, I didn't do anything to have my integrity come into question. But apparently, because these other women get all this notoriety for their terrible behavior, their criminal behavior, it harms everybody else. So women are not innocent in the conversation about doing toxic and harmful things. As soon as you see entitled behavior, run. I think there's a level of like, does this person just believe they deserve good things, and do they have high standards, or do they think that they are entitled to things that are not at their level? You know what I mean, Sculpt? I think it's good to have aspirations for greater. I don't think, humbling, like being humble can become an ego in itself. You know what I mean? I tried the ice veins of, ooh, that's a fancy name, where the wind speaks in the runes and wolves guard the dusk. My blood remembers the fjords, the fire, the oath, etched in the stone of the storm. It's very nice. Thank you, Wogi. There are lonely men by choice. For them, it's party of one always. And I'm not talking about them. They never need you. They choose you if you accept to and enter the circle. I think that being alone by choice is different. It's like being child-free by choice versus having an infertility problem. People give you too much sympathy, and I think it's enabling you. You profit off sympathy. Okay. Whatever. Nobody's putting a gun to their head. If they want to support me and watch the video and do whatever they want to do, I'm not telling them to do it. I'm not putting a gun to their wallet. Anyone who makes false accusations should be charged with a crime and do jail time. And in addition to that, Braven, I think that women that are doing these diabolical paternity scams, where they are saying that someone is the father that's not, or vice versa, and having the wrong man pay child support, all need to be studied and all need to be held accountable, because that's pathological. The thing is, Pat Riley, is that reporting assault is very difficult, because the way trauma works is that back then, 20 years ago, there wasn't really a way to speak about it. There wasn't really a movement for women to be able to do that. And it's very easy to tell a victim to report a crime right away, but a lot of the time you compartmentalize it, you block it out, and then you don't really unpack it until later after the fact, and then your integrity comes into question because of a trauma response. Oh. I think your video earlier was diabolical, KM. Okay, I was just talking about it. We can start over with the talk if you want to. Charlie is, he's doing this routine. He's meowing because he's doing this routine where he takes trash and then he tries to hump it. So he's very horny right now, actually. And when you try to pet him, he gets really angry and he hisses at you. And he'll run away when you try to pet him in that state. 10 years ago, I think it was harder to find someone. Yeah, I think so. But it's also harder to keep someone these days because there's so many options on the same side. What is the solution for lonely men not to become that way in the first place? I don't know. I'm struggling with it too. Like, what's up, Resplendent? Thank you. Nicholas, I worked with a painter who was a PDF file to his young daughter. Some guys wanted to claim the wife might have made it up, so I could not bring it up. I read his case and know he was in did it. Damn, Nicholas. And everybody wants to protect these people. People protect predators, even when you bring receipts. They do this thing called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim offender. It's where they say, I didn't do it. You did it. I'm the victim. You're the perpetrator. And they do it in a very sophisticated way. They don't actually say that they're doing that, but they basically just do that with their behavior. Women are capable of doing horrific things. What do you guys think about Casey Anthony? She got off from that murder charge. Yes, I got trauma response simply from talking to my sister last year. Damn, Michael, that is tough. I sometimes feel like I'm dissociated most of the time, so I don't even know the difference. I feel like when you exit survival mode, you become very exhausted initially. I do not seek the throne. I walk. Interesting. Shelby, are you aware there's 105 male births for every 101 female births? That's why women have more value. It's because women are the choosers, okay? Pussy is worth more than dick. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's exclusive, okay? We're the selectors. It has nothing to do with population. Women in every species are the selectors. Whether we rip the head off the man after conception or allow him to unalive us during pregnancy, we are the selectors and we chose that. Unless, you guys know what's crazy, is that in countries where women are not the selectors, and these are the most uneducated countries, bar none, on the planet. When women are not allowed to weed out the idiots, everyone becomes stupid, and it weighs down the collective gene pool to a point of absolute trash. Because when you don't educate half of the population, or you turn half of the population into slaves, you're screwing over the other half. Because my mom helped me with my homework. I can't imagine having a mom that couldn't read, for example. Casey Anthony is one of the luckiest women in the world in the sense that she definitely got away with something and had one of the best legal teams in the business. At the expense of everything, though, because she had to declare bankruptcy because she was in almost $1 million of legal debt. And at this point, she is completely dead broke. So she got off, but at what cost? India is a perfect example. I mean, there's parts of it. I've never been there. I know there's more developed parts of it. There's also like the Middle East. Even I would even say like the United States has just recently gotten rid of forced marriage, but we weren't calling it forced marriage. We were calling it a woman needed her husband or her father to allow her to open her own bank account since 1974. That was like 50 years ago, you guys. So we are only 50 years out of women not being able to provide for themselves. You guys don't really remember that part. We never said that the marriage is forced, but the woman would be disowned, shamed, culturally isolated, have no way to earn money because she couldn't open her own bank account even. So that's not even a choice at that point. What other option does she even have? She has no access to contraception. She has no access to transportation if her husband doesn't buy her a car and teach her how to drive. We are like millennial women are some of the first generation of women that are free selectors, and we are weeding out the ones that are not viable for the first time in American history, and people don't like it because they're getting left behind. The point of this stream is just to chat, as always. I don't really have a point. I do not mourn. Okay. I think the primary cause for lonely guys and people in general is largely a mix of stunted development, lack of social skills, and possible. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think that there is something to be said that the age that men start to consume pornography is the age when they stop developing emotionally. And a lot of men are exposed to porn at age 7, at age 8, at age 9. It does something to them where they are no longer in control of their mind and they enter into an active addiction where they are unfortunately shown images that are not realistic. And they believe this violence is the real thing. And we pay the price for that. Porn is fake, and I mean there's nothing wrong with like maybe a couple times, but I mean it really weakens your imagination because I felt like I could do the deed with myself without watching it pretty easily just by using my imagination. But then when I was first exposed to it, it kind of became this crutch where I didn't have to put as much effort in, and then it became more difficult to do it without it, even though I could have done it without it had I never done it in the first place. It becomes a very big crutch. It's like smoking. Like you don't need to smoke, but as soon as you start smoking, you have to. It's a real addiction. I'm not discounting how difficult that is to quit. Shelby, I have a lot of questions, but the chat is going super fast. You don't see them. Will you answer them in the comments? I'm going to try, Cable Planet, to keep it up. Looks like it's slowing down a bit. I do not speak. I hiss to the cracks in heaven's foundation where your name still burns. Lucifer, architect of the fracture, crowned in exile, robbed in the ash of angels. Okay, that was pretty cool. Interesting theory. Do you think a person could ask you something and as a woman you might know but could possibly hear the truth in it? Sure, John. I mean, I'm open to asking a difficult question. The entire porn industry is controlled and produced by anti-white ethnic Jews. I didn't know that collective, but it doesn't surprise me. Porn does destroy relationships because it destroys realistic expectations. Precisely, Null. Precisely. In the same way that fictional Literary porn is the same thing for women. I think it gives us false expectations. So we're not absolved from that. We just use a different medium of consumption for pornography and unrealistic things. Like I think romance novels and romance movies are the female equivalent of that. We think that there's going to be some perfect dude that has no flaws and accepts us for all of ours. And I mean, I like Colin Hoover just like everybody else does, but I think that honestly, as long as you know it's a work of fiction, then you're going to be fine. Porn gives anyone unreal expectations. It's all stage managed. It's not to do with yeah, exactly, Roy. I'm based. I don't really even think I'm based. I'm pretty liberal. My mom had an entire bookshelf of romance novels. Dang. That's crazy, Michael. I know a lot of people do that. Shelby is a genius low-key. I don't know if that's real. Way of the Zombie. People around 25 who watch anime are sick because those characters look like minors. They do that on purpose, Cynthia. And there is this acceptable level of culturally accepted pedophilia in Japan that nobody talks about. Like the schoolgirl uniforms, like what girls are expected to wear, the stalking problem that they just allow to happen. It's crazy out there. People used to be able to estimate the amount of bubblegum in a jar. Wisdom of the crowd. I'm not very good at those games. I'm a misogynist. I'm also a misandrist. I'm just misanthropic. That's true. That's good. Hate everyone equally. The label of someone doesn't matter. What matters is their actions and intentions. Pornography, when consumed responsibly, can offer benefits such as enhanced sexual knowledge. I do think that's true, Desolate. I think there's a truth to that. In the same way that weed can be used prescription-wise and medicinally, I think there is a place for it. But there is also the fact that never before in human history have we had this much access to free porn. You used to have to buy a subscription to it in a paper format. You used to have to hide it from your wife and have it sent to a PO box or pick it up at the local adult store and then have a stack of them hidden somewhere where no one could find it. There was a level of shame and secrecy around it, but now it is so ubiquitously accepted. It is so overwhelmingly overstimulating that in the same way that the weed from the 1970s is not the same weed as the ones we're smoking today, the porn of today is not the same porn from the 1970s. This is not your granddaddy's porn. This is overstimulating. It's dangerous. It's completely formatted to be addictive, just like everything else. Your dad had Hustler Mags and Betamax porn hidden away, but guess who found it? I think that's like a coming of age thing, Michael, is like finding your dad's porn stash. Proud of you for speaking your mind, Shelby. Hope you're doing okay today. What's up? Thank you, Kana Club. Thank you, Wolf Wuggy. You know, I went through this phase, and I don't know if I'm still in that phase now, where I had a very difficult time standing up for people or standing up for myself. You want this Samara painting? I don't even know where it is at this point, Wolf Woogie. I have no idea where I put it. Do you want me to make another one? Thanks for not giving up on me. I'm really shit at this art business thing. To be honest, I'm really shit at business. You can't get addicted to porn these days, Merrick. It's not the same porn as what your grandpappy had. There's a rumor that births are difficult by modern standards. Not sure how that's true. I don't know, John. I hear there's more C-sections and there's more maternal mortality these days because women are not allowed to have miscarriages without having CPS show up there at their door for infanticide. Okay, Wolf Woogie, I need to check your email. What was your email that you sent it from? The worst thing in life is growing up is your mom finding your wooden socks. Oh my God. Oh, yikes. Samara is a brand of aircraft engines. Okay. I didn't know that. When we are of Jesus, we are hated. When you are of the world, you are loved. And there's a very big truth to that. I think that when you walk a higher path of integrity, whether or not you're using Jesus as the Messiah or you're just walking with a philosophy that is of a higher calling and you're working on a bigger picture, people will attack you. It activates something in them and they will attack you. It's almost like a spiritual law. Thank you, Gabriel Padilla. Nature has an inherently unjust measure. Being male is easier. It's easier to get chosen if you're a female, but I wouldn't want to defend my kids in the savannas or have a kid at all, you know? What's up, Roy? Try to get me laughing? Keep trying. I mean, I might laugh today. Who knows? What Jesus meant was only some humans are real and others are fake. Don't make me retype it, chat. Advertisers blocking communication. I put the ads on this video very low. So on the monetization tab, before you start a stream, you can choose how often you want the mid-rolls and the advertisements to play. And I picked the lowest one because everyone was complaining. So guys, I promise the ads are about as low as they're ever going to be on this channel, because I know you guys don't like mid-rolls, especially when I'm streaming. So I cut them down quite a bit because I don't want to be greedy. It really steals from the experience. I think it's a better experience for everybody if we're not getting constantly interrupted. Shell, this is for the chat. Fuck, what are you talking about? Asperson, a person, girl, you know the type of audience you attract. Why are you shocked after the first time this happened? I'm not shocked, and I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I think that I just needed to reiterate my point of view in a way that was a little more nuanced. I didn't mean to blanket and broad stroke everybody that's lonely as a predator. I already went into this, but I'm not going to take that video down because I think it's more authentic for me to be saying things that not everyone agrees with than to just pander to my audience because they're a certain demographic. Women should choose wisely their partner. It's true. Similarly, men should have a certain mental and emotional stability before having anything. Yeah, it's all true. Raymond is watching my live stream live. What's up, Raymond? Hello. What's up, Merrick? 120 people is pretty good. Coco, I admitted that I broad stroked. That was not my intention, but that's what it came across as, and that is what I said. There was probably a more nuanced way to handle that particular subject, and we're addressing it right now. I'm not backtracking. I'm taking accountability and saying what I actually meant and reiterating it because I couldn't undo that video because it's already posted. I have never been a Jehovah's Witness, Cable Planet. I asked something, then chat, write a bunch of effing nonsense when you said it was okay, then blam. What are you talking about, John? I'm not blocking it. YouTube has auto mods on these things, you know? People need to talk about art on here. Maybe we could do an art stream later. There is no God, anything beyond this world mortal. I am just so blessed that I've never been attacked by a man. It's actually crazy because there are so many opportunities when it could have happened. If I hadn't been more awake, like if I had been, anything could have happened, but I'm not taking the video down, Burn. I'll do an art stream. No, you addressed your points perfectly and you have nothing to apologize for. This is your channel and the people crying are the most men who act like boys. Very accurate. I asked you something like 10 comments ago, then the chat wrote a bunch of stuff covering it up. Okay, I'm sorry I missed it. We're not going to hail Satan here. That's kind of weird. You've been stalked by a guy musical cat. I'm sorry that you're going through a stalking thing because it does take your peace of mind completely away. A man did almost essay me, but I got away. Go. I've never been a victim of a completed essay. I've been very close to being one, though, to the point where it awakened my eyes in a different way. And then I ended up blaming myself for putting myself in that situation and trusting the wrong person because he switched up his demeanor out of nowhere. Like when I say I closed the door and he switched up his demeanor, it was actually crazy. Like his eyes went black. It was the weirdest shit ever. The video was not good, but it could be cool piece in hindsight. I'm going to leave it because it's part of the journey now. I'm tech drawing an aircraft right now. Have you ever heard Industrial design type drawing. Interesting. I think I'm familiar with that. Okay, Coco, don't believe victims then. I wouldn't lie. There's no reason for me to do that. Essay can't be real even if it's not completed. I had a guy put his hands, I was basically violated with someone's hand, not their dick, if that makes sense. I'm lucky I got out of that situation. What's creepier is that I saw him again in a completely different context, and I started to wonder if he was stalking me, but ever since that thing happened, I haven't seen him again. But I really don't. I moved on from it because I think there's bigger things to worry about. Everybody like the stream. It's free. We're almost at 100 likes. Coco, I mean, you're very negative. All right, but thanks for stopping by. Your video is great, and you don't have to be made to feel like you did something wrong. You have my full support. Thank you. Yes, it is part of the journey. People need to be more respectful. Shelly has ignored me now. It's over. Collective, what are you talking about? This chat is going crazy. Powerlifting might be starting soon. It might be starting in January. That's my plan. Enjoy your evening, Shelby. Guess, gotta go. Thank you. Something else I noticed about the comments in this video, the same arguments you see so's make in treatment for justifying how they are now on a list. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. People that are actually criminals do not forgive their behavior. They don't like to take accountability. I am 100% lying, and I can tell by your demeanor. No, I'm not lying. I've literally already addressed both of these issues. I literally have already addressed both of these issues, and we're not going to rehash it. See, people like that, Shelby, ruined it for the rest of us, and it sucks. I don't lie. Hi, Raymond. How are you? I know you have nothing better to do because your channel has not grown at all in the last 5 months since I've known you, but I guess you're going to blame the algorithm instead of your own shit content. Peace out. All right, anyway, he's stalking me right now, and I just said hi. I'm negative because I actually thought you weren't a grift. Okay, Coco, if you think I'm a grifter, no one is forcing you to be here. If you believe that I am a liar and that I'm a user and that I'm fake, you can go. You can unsubscribe and you don't have to be a part of this chat anymore, and I will let you do that. And you can believe whatever you want to believe about me. What is happening? I don't even know. They're trolling you right now, making it hard for you. Isabella, they are very mean, and I'm glad I'm not in the room with them because they're horrible people. What's up, Baddie? Good to see you. Sometimes I listen to music with my art. I'm probably not going to date anybody from YouTube, you guys, regardless of the situation. A grifter is a scam artist or a con artist, okay? Coco, you gotta go. I'm not acting a victim. I've literally taken accountability. I've said I'm not a perfect person. I've never lied on this channel. I've just said that I've spoken out of emotion and then regretted what I said later. None of that is a lie. Anyway, we're not going to be dealing with that for much longer. I'm wasting my breath. Collective Shelby say Collective Dismal says hi, Raymond. Hi, Raymond. Collective says hi. Thing is, no one is owed love and affection, and that's where incels get it wrong. People watching this live stream should not write to hurt or bully. Thank you, guys. I have been bullied so severely in the past that it's really difficult. And true to form, anytime a bully is bullying you, they want to make it seem like you're the bully. I don't go out of my way to bully people. If I say something offensive, I try to apologize for it. Shelby has denied God's plan and led away from her soulmate. What are you talking about? Raymond, why are you stalking people? Make your own content, bro. Maybe YouTube wouldn't have blocked you if you weren't saying things that were so hateful. Yeah, there is this big copyright thing. I don't want to get a copyright strike. That's very true. And that's a very human thing. We all say things we didn't exactly mean. Thank you. Some people like just to be a contrarian and will victim blame themselves for the fun of it. It's best to ignore them. I did not bash all men. I bashed men that engage in behavior where they feel personally victimized by rejection and then engage in dangerous behavior when you no longer want to engage with their dangerous behavior. Way of the Zombie, I can be very serious at times. But Raymond is one of those men online that I've given a chance to, like the 4 men in real life that I gave a chance to. And I didn't learn my lesson in real life, apparently. So I needed to repeat that pattern online as well, where I had someone try to ride my coattails and take advantage of what I'm building to use it for their own advantage. So whatever. Thank you, Celestial. Raymond is just stirring the pot. The best thing you can do to support me, if you don't support what Raymond is saying, is to just not engage in his stream at all. Thank you, guys. The behavior you describe as sociopathic, be careful. My mom's not open for interview, but she has her own piece and she can say what she wants. If she's going to say anything, it's going to be on my channel. Yeah. I think that Raymond is a very talented speaker. I'm going to tell you that Raymond is a very gifted public speaker. He's very articulate. He's very educated. I'll give him that. He's just using his gifts to tear people down that are less popular than he is. Like, he's literally punching down. It's not okay. Jesus was a real person that existed historically, even if he's not divine. Collective Dismal is here. That's true, Shelby. I do my best not to engage the dumpster fire, but I'm only human. Yeah, I get it, Brave. If it bleeds, it leads. It's very hard not to avoid it. Brayman is stalking my mother. Are you serious? Your entire channel is you being the victim and crying about how no one likes you because you act like a child. Honestly, you don't deserve the praise that she just gave you. That's very nice of you, Celestial. I think Raymond has a lot of talents and a lot of gifts. And when I was on his stream, he did not allow me to speak at all. 95% of that stream was just Raymond talking over me and me making affirmative comments because I couldn't get a word in edgewise. So if that's the way Raymond responds on his dates and he's not allowing his dates to speak to him, I'm not really sure what results he's expecting to get. And that's just a neutral critique of what I experienced when I was on his call. And he also said a lot of rude things as well. But, you know, he does the same thing that he was accusing me of, which is actually crazy. I'm a man and I didn't take offense to what you said. I know you didn't generalize all men. Thank you. The guy always talks about you, even thinking he looks better than you when he looks like a thumb. Yeah, really. Raymond is one of my biggest haters right now. Yeah, all the viewers are going to bully me and attack me because he's sending them over with he's sending his flying monkeys over, and that's fine. All of his flying monkeys are the people that I was probably speaking about in my video. That's why they don't like it. I do like to paint, obviously. I'm in my art studio right now. I'm never going to speak to Raymond personally ever again. So the only attention Raymond is going to get from me is his name coming out of my mouth in a stream that he is stalking currently and giving me more views on, by the way, which is crazy. I bet he's not even linking to it. He's not even linking to my stream because he's very rude. Spread a video based on hatred and lies and surprised you got backlash. I did not say one lie, WP. Thank you. Stop by again and goodbye. Raymond does seem like an anti-Shelby. I have a lot of hatred that I've dealt with in my life. Every time I've ascended in life, I've normally backed down from the level of hatred. And I have been personally victimized by several people in real life that have tried to tear me down for not conforming to their idea of what they thought I was. And it's been very dangerous as a woman for me, dealing with men that I've given a chance to, and it's difficult. because he seems like he would be a dangerous person because he is literally not letting sleeping dogs lie. If he wanted to do what he says he wants to do, he wouldn't be putting more attention onto me because his real intention is clout. His real intention is not to have an actual discourse. His real intention is to attack and be a bully. And that's what bullies do. He's desperate for content, and that's right. He's dangerous because he's a bully. Bullies are harmful people. And he's seeing what he's able to get away with. He's seeing what he's able to get away with. Raymond was bullying growing up and gets off on feeling powerful like the jocks he is so insecure about. What's so crazy to me is that he was bullied, and I bet he was bullied. And now that a girl has given him attention and then decided to set a boundary after the fact, like I've been talking about, I don't want to speak to him again. Unfortunately, he has become the person that he doesn't like. I have not bullied him at all. I don't even bring him up unless you guys mention him. But he likes to bring me up all the time because he's a bully and he's a narcissist. How come there are so many simps in my comment section? You have so many beta bucks that would wipe you up. I don't even know what that means, dude. My comment section are full of intelligent, empathic people that are able to think for themselves and don't fall for that narcissistic nonsense that is so rampant out there. Most of us have been victims of narcissistic abuse, so we know what it's like. I will say that some of your stuff you said in the video, because of my disability, I can't help but never. It's not really your fault, Capable Planet. I understand that people with disabilities is like a different thing. I wish there was kind of a dating site. I know that people can fetishize it, but I know he's listening. You already told me, Rye Mode. Alone doesn't mean lonely. And what WTF do you mean saying lonely ones are dangerous? Okay, let me reiterate. Not all lonely men are dangerous. There are a subsect of these lonely men that are lonely because they are dangerous. That's what I meant, if that makes a little more sense. I didn't say it in the most nuanced and effective way. So let me say that again. Not all lonely men are dangerous, but there are some men who are lonely because they are dangerous. And they try to blend in like a wolf in sheep's clothing with the actual lonely men and poison the well. And they make it very difficult for everybody. Just like there are women that lie about being raped. We can't lie. We can't say that doesn't happen because it does happen. It's a minority, but it's enough people to where integrity is thrown into question for people that are actually going through something. So in case you missed it, Raymond decided that he would rather do short-term gain and make shock value content, tearing me down and becoming a hater, than he would making a collaborative alliance here on YouTube. So rather than building a collaborative environment, an alliance, a mutual content building platform about similar stuff, where we have opposing views in certain ways, where we could have a legit discourse about our disagreements, he's decided to hate me while I'm not even there to defend myself while I'm streaming. That's what he's doing right now. So that's his thing. And that's what he's going to do because he's apparently shown his hand as a short-term thinker and a bully. If there are lonely men, does that also mean there are lonely women? Of course there's lonely women, Dale. Very true. But as the victim, people call me a victim, right? And then they're going to say, but a woman can just get fucked by whoever she wants, even if she's fat. I guess that's true, but finding a man that you actually like is a little more difficult than just getting it from anybody. We should all be working together, not fighting men and women. This is stupid gender wars. Grime Mode, I completely agree. I feel like I did not mean to contribute to that divisiveness. I just think that the YouTube zeitgeist in it of itself has a very divisive gender scene in the content machine thing. I was not saying anything to be divisive or to divide anybody. But YouTube is very divisive when it comes to gender. The internet is very divisive when it comes to gender. So I put out a video about gender in a context where it's going to not be received based on a lot of the cultural mindsets of our day. Anyway. Can't handle looking in the mirror and knowing it's not him being bald or his appearance. It is his horrible personality. Randon, I literally said that. Like, he was complaining about his looks, and I remember looking at him and thinking he's not ugly. You know what I mean? He's not ugly. But when I started talking to him, I kind of figured out why he is lonely, because he doesn't allow people to think and he attacks people because that's the only way he knows how to get attention. Am I backtracking, Richard? I'm not trying to backtrack. I'm kind of going back over stuff that I've already said because I feel like some people missed it. Is that what you're talking about? Right on, Michael. Anyways, right. It's not his looks at all, Forever. I disagree that it's his looks. It's not his looks. He's an alcoholic. He's been in recovery, but he still has the patterns and dysfunctions of an addict, and he's displaying them right now on his stream currently. He's literally engaging in toxic behavior right now, like an addict would do, shit-talking people that have less clout than he does, which is crazy. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Thank you, Ara. I'm not backtracking. I'm just reiterating on what was said. Thank you. Grind mode. Maybe I should get off social media, but I probably won't be. I didn't get here until 30 minutes in because YouTube didn't remind me again. That's all right, Cable Planet. We were just warming up for you. Thank you, Isabella. I have a lot of men call me unattractive, and I don't want to dwell on the fact that I've been bullied, but my appearance, what I wear, the way I carry myself, the way I speak, and the way I think, all of these things have come under attack before in my life. And I don't know if it's from jealousy or what, but unfortunately, I've had a lot of people make me feel like, and I began to believe that I am not a worthy person of connection or love from all these things and the continuing on of this type of behavior. I think you're going back over what you said because so many of these guys are immature and can't handle it. Probably Celestial. I just thought a lot of people missed it, and in case you missed it, I was going to reiterate. Thank you, Michael, for letting me know that they're jealous, because a lot of time I end up in these echo chambers that are very dangerous with dangerous people, and I don't know they're dangerous until the trap is shut. And then we have men who blame women for choosing wrong when we were being actively deceived the entire time. Because when you are trying to escape, or when nobody goes into an abusive, like an abuser doesn't punch you on the first freaking date. You know what I mean? Raymond is harmful, and I think he has potential to be dangerous. He's displaying that right now. Are you familiar with the painter Louis Wayne? Yes, I am. His work is reminiscent. I actually love his work. I'm very inspired by his work, actually. For those that don't know, Louis Wayne was an artist who had schizophrenia, and his main subject was cats. He drew and illustrated cats. And he had this difference where he would paint his cats when he wasn't in psychosis, and then he would paint his cats when he was in psychosis. And very sadly, his career as a commercial illustrator ended after he became schizophrenic, after he had his first psychotic break. And unfortunately, he died in an asylum, very poor, a ward of the state. And unfortunately, his work was not rediscovered until over 150 years later. And it's extremely ahead of its time. So he's a very good artist. You guys should look at him. I have a positive relationship with my stepfather and my brother-in-law and my uncle. Thank you, Alejandro. I really appreciate your support because a lot of times I don't see that. He's one of those artists, Ara, that did not get any notoriety in his lifetime. He was a successful commercial illustrator. Like, he was working for, publications and children's books before he had a psychotic break. After his psychotic break, he was only able to draw these really psychedelic cats. And that's what his name is associated with now. But it was 150 years after his death that his work reemerged into the public consciousness. It's really crazy that he was unknown for almost a century and a half. And he died a very tragic death with no one really knowing who he was. So you just never know. I haven't blocked his number, actually. He hasn't even tried texting me, which is crazy. He just goes around to all the hate videos and leaves comments and then makes his own. People from broken homes somehow get mistreated and so misunderstood for someone they had no control over. Yeah, I know, Hassan. The thing about it is that when a scammer finds a victim that is able to be scammed, they tell the other scammers that this person has money and they are able to be scammed. So once you've been scammed once, you are much easier to scam again. And the same is true for abuse. The abusers say she'll put up with it, she'll make excuses for you, she'll enable you, she won't be able to leave. And you send out this vibe that attracts more of the same. And I have done that. I'm actually in a cycle right now where I am currently and actively attracting that kind of negativity back into my life because I gave someone a chance that didn't deserve it again. And that's usually what happens when I give people chances that I'm not really enthusiastic about interacting with. Be respectful and have real conversations with women. Don't be scared because good women give you attention. I hope you become unlost over time with the interwebs. Thank you. Time and place, bro. You were right to reject Raymond. He wants a 17-year-old because he can't get one. He wants to abuse an older woman and break them down. And I was talking about this in the video where it seems like conservative men cannot leave liberal women alone. They can't just let us be. They want to clip our wings and do what they did to Britney. What happened to Britney Spears, the way she was MK Ultra'd, the way she was brain damaged, the way she was broken beyond complete and total repair is what they want for all of us that break out of the patriarchy, because she only started getting attacked and all of that. She only started having her mental breakdown after she started trying to take control of her life and her money and her bodily autonomy. And it's sad. I know that Britney has just had her ex-husband 20 years after release a book pathologizing her behavior when she was going through an acute mental breakdown back in a time where she had absolutely no reprieve. Like if you watch the way she was being treated during her 2007 breakdown, she could not go anywhere without being swarmed by every freaking person. I would go crazy in that situation after a day. She was in that situation for almost 10 years. And, it's really tragic. They built her up, and then they made a sport and an industry out of tearing her down. And there is also an industry out of tearing women down already and now. Not to be that guy, but I dig your face. I think ugly is a big exaggeration. I think ugly is often an over-exaggeration anyway. Thank you, Nicholas. Hearing an incel complain is so cringe. They all say the same thing. And then they accuse us of being the ones that are pulling our talking points from Reddit. I think Raymond said that he said I pulled my talking points from Reddit. I had never even been to that subreddit that he had mentioned. Most of it was just my opinion. But, he's over here doing the same thing, but we're not going to give him any more life. We've breathed enough life. We breathe life back into ourselves now. It would be much harder for Shelby's art career to take off in Canada. Maybe so, Michael. Oh, sorry, Bo. The internet can be wonky sometimes. I'm not attacking conservative people at all. What have I said about conservative people? They can believe what they want to believe. I'm the one currently being attacked. I did not bring up his name. He brought up my name, and he's literally made a stream with the sole purpose of tearing me down. I'm not attacking conservative people, but there are conservative men who want to ruin liberal women because I don't know, even the conservative women don't want him. I might be unhinged. I have unhinged moments for sure. They also need to realize no one is owed love and affection. Exactly, Grind. Apparently, it's hard for her art career to take off in America. Yeah, art careers in general are very difficult, Dale. I'm still at the beginning, and I'm not going to give up. But having an art career has not been the most successful thing for me. I'll admit that. I also see no genuine contradiction between conservative values and feminine anyway. Women need options in life. Yep, it's the entitlement that makes them think they're entitled to a partner. The UK has the highest rate of SA in the world because of the invasion of African Pakistani men. I believe that. Western men are not dangerous. You should be grateful for what you have in society. You have a point, Ebony. There are levels to these things, right, Ebony? There are levels. I'm not in a third world country. I'm not being sold into marriage. I'm not in Sudan where the men are crying because they were almost unable to rape 12-year-olds anymore. It could be very much worse. There are levels to this. There are paradigms to this, indeed. Yeah, Raymond is over there doing what he does, and that's what he wants to do. Sure, Dale, I'll give you a virtual hug. Virtual hug to Dale. Shelby, I thought you were going live because I knew you were not afraid and you're confident. Thank you, Isabella. The thing is, you can get hurt whether or not you're scared and whether or not you lose a fight. And to be honest with you, I'm not the best at winning fights, especially physically. And a lot of times I get taken advantage of after I've been generous. How much would you charge for an album art or even concept art for something like a video game? It's going to depend what you're going to need for that. I really don't know what a good price point for that would be. What's your budget? Because the thing is with a custom album cover, it requires a lot of editing. So that has to be taken into account. You know what I mean? What's up, Real Talk? I have not heard about the Irish protest. What's happening with that, Merrick? If these guys just got laid, they'd realize how little it matters. Absolutely so. It's crazy that they are so hyper fixated on what they're not able to do instead of what they are doing. Family abuse, broken homes, house ablaze. Those helpless kids got their brains numb and most of their lives ahead to pay. I don't think it works like that or guys like this. Yeah. Ireland's still bringing in more guests and the military is doing it. What is the protest? Dale says he's probably twice my age, but he's loving my content. Thank you. My zodiac sign is Gemini. Is that what you mean? Or do you mean my Chinese zodiac? I think I'm Year of the Rooster. I believe it, Merrick. I am not. The thing is that I don't understand how allowing extremism into this country became a liberal value. It doesn't make sense to me, if that makes sense, you know? It's like, when did supporting people that literally throw gay people off buildings become an issue of the LGBT? I don't really understand that personally. It's strange to me, but what do I know? It seems weird. It seems like we're what are we doing? Voting against our best interest again? I just think that issue should be flip-flopped. It doesn't really make sense to me. Or we can just kind of both agree and not be contradictory to the other side. That's really fucked up, and our ideology should not mix and they should not be allowed over here. But that's just my opinion. That's what I hear. Like, I don't really see a lot of actual people that are Democrats in real life believing that illegal Pakistanis should be in our country. Or even at all, because there is something in the Quran that basically says that they are conquistadors. They will enter into another country with the intent of impregnating the women and choking out the native population. This is something that is written in their book. So they're psyoping us. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. What's up, Chaotic? Mochi? A morality question should be administered. It's called Hijra. Okay, thank you, Merrick. They will be nice until they outnumber you. Exactly, Batty. That's completely true. I agree with that 100%. Conquest by settlement. They were doing this grooming thing, actually, I think in this small British town where they were with impunity for over almost 15 years, grooming these young girls and selling them into prostitution, and nobody did anything about it. The police did fuck all about it. The laws were written in such a way that victims of SA were tried as adults, or victims of trafficking were tried as adults, and they never got any justice. A lot of them were forced to carry their children from these unions, and it's literally the Hijra in action. It's crazy. Okay, Bistevi, if you think that I'm attracting too much attention, you probably shouldn't be giving me any. Thank you. Conservatives should tell you all 10 times in U.S. history that a trans woman competed in sports but couldn't pass a Civics 101. Exactly. That's pretty funny. Liberals let them do the sort of things you see. Yeah, I don't really think that makes sense, though. I'm not saying you're wrong, ET. I'm just saying, like, why? I don't really get it. I don't really get politics. There's certain issues where I'm really liberal, like when it comes to abortion, and there's other ones where I'm like, how did that even become something that we believe as a Democrat? I don't really get it. The Epstein files, yeah, we're never going to see those again. There's nothing such as hate words, the Quran. Where did you buy that from? It's literally in there, Windwaker. I think it is anyways. Maybe I could be wrong. Do you believe there is a will of nature that most people are unconscious of acting through them? I don't know. I seem angry. I'm not trying to come across as angry. I'm just talking. Nothing is there about what you said. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I could be always wrong. It could be that I saw that on TikTok and it's not correct. I don't know. How many incel are here, and would you guess? I really don't label my chat as incels. Most of us are neurodivergent, and we have problems because of that, not because of any other reason. Yeah, I think that I have this thing where people will interpret my face a certain way based on their own reactions to looking at me, but it's not actually me being angry. King, I could be wrong. I might be very ignorant about it. I really don't know. But I just know that there's a lot of problems that come from that culture, as there is with every culture, but that one in particular, I don't think is compatible with our culture. The thing is like they're not compatible with us and vice versa, so why not just stay in their own country? You know what I mean? Instead of trying to convert one way or the other. Infamous, I already went into it. If an incel tried to date me, would I date them? I've actually tried to date lonely men before, and I ended up in very dangerous situations. And I found out why they were lonely. I'm dangerous and I'm in a relationship. Yeah, you can be dangerous in both. I'm neurotic, but I worked hard in social skills and it worked. Okay. Dark Brandon struck a chord with Raymond by saying he wasn't properly loved by his parents and now he's upset. Yikes. I guess he hit it too close to home there. That's pretty funny. I love that for him. The worst part of the Quran forbids talking to outsiders the same as insiders. They haven't been forcibly converted since the Crusades, not successfully. You can't convert them. That's why they can't come here. They don't assimilate. They bring their incompatible values to a country where we cannot mix. If they just stay in their corner of the world and don't bother us, then we can just live our lives and leave each other alone. But that's not their belief system because they believe in conquest. That's why they're here. The funniest thing to me is they'll say, we want more opportunities. And then they come here and they don't assimilate into the belief system that allows those opportunities to be possible in the first place. Thank you, Norapan. I'm glad you agree with me. Oh, no response. Whatever your name is. No Repone. Whatever your name is. Shelby, you got a lot of duck brands and subs. I don't know what that means. I wish I could get a brand deal, but I don't know how to get a brand deal. Does anybody know how to get a brand deal on YouTube? Or what I should even get a brand deal for? To get the opportunity to hear you share your thoughts should not be free, to be honest. Isabella, that's interesting. Maybe I should do a more exclusive stream. My only audience is from Raymond. I think I got maybe 150 subs from him max. Maybe 200. I didn't get any more than like 250 subs from Raymond. It's around that point. I watched it. It was not a very big spike. Here's the deal. A man should always make sure his woman's dream comes true. Love is not chains or jealousy. Thank you. I agree with that, Jamie. You also have to be careful with those. There are plenty of fake brand deals. Yeah, thank you, Noel. I think I got a lot of emails for fake brand deals, and I never want to like advertise something on here that I don't believe in personally. I have to reach out to brands and wait until they come to you. They're probably not going to come to me unless I reach out. Do you guys know of any brands that would be compatible with this channel that other content creators are currently using? Yeah, Axel, I think that just like there are rules against hate speech, there are rules against religious violence as well. Acoustic treatment brand. What is that? I don't know what that is, Merrick. I really don't get involved in what people are saying about me. If they want to start talking shit, they can, but I'm just going to avoid it. I have no idea what an acoustic treatment is. A treatment for what? Oh, acrylic. That'd be good. Color pencil brands. I really love this one. These markers that I'm using right now, they're really great. I just don't think most of you guys are artists, though. But I can just hit up every single acrylic brand and see if they'll give me a brand deal, and they might even pay me in paint. They offer custom graphics on sound-absorbing panels. Okay. Interesting. I've never heard of that. That's not something I ever would particularly use myself, so I probably wouldn't take that on. But yeah. You were holding males accountable in the last video, but male and females have their sides to play. Family and society is to blame for different stuff. That's why it rubbed people the wrong way. Yeah, I think that's true. You should say the truth that you're not attracted to lonely, ugly men instead of saying they're dangerous, which is purely ignorant. I wasn't unattracted to them until they revealed themselves as dangerous to me. Okay, so there you go. Shelby, don't do brands if you have to. It's not worth it. Wait until they come to you because you'll have the upper hand. I think I might be waiting quite a while. I'm practicing my traditional art skills, so I'd love to see what brand deals you do. There's this new brand. I don't even know the name of this brand, but here we go, guys. Brand deal. No, free plug. But I love these new acrylic markers that I got off TikTok Shop, and I would totally plug them if I could get a deal with them. I think that New York City having a Muslim mayor is like the most hilarious shit I've ever seen in my life. It is the biggest plot twist we've ever seen. Okay, we won't go there. Hobby Lobby is big in the States. That would be like a A-list brand deal, Hassan. If I got a Hobby Lobby brand deal, I would be like, I wouldn't be making I would be making some bank, I'll put it like that. I think I probably need like 250K to get Hobby Lobby to notice me. It's awesome that Shelby is just chilling and chatting with us. Hassan, even I remember Faber-Castell. Maybe I could get Faber-Castell to sponsor me. We work to survive for what? Great video. Thank you, Windwaker or Walker. I love the Polychromos brand of Faber-Castell. I used to fuck with Prismacolors, but I think they changed the formula and it's no longer what it used to be. It's so awesome that I'm just chilling and chatting. Of course, Alejandro. Some men are lonely because they are ugly. That's not their fault. Some men are also lonely because they scare people away. Let's not forget that. There are people that are that way and have deformities and disabilities where they can't communicate. But yeah. I'll make this a city of immigrants run by immigrants, which is really weird, whether you're right or left. I agree, but we're not going to go there. Do I have any terrible jokes, Gary? I can think of one that I invented off the top of my head, okay? What do you call a waffle on Coronado Beach? A Sandy Ego. Get it? San Diego. It's hilarious. Yeah, I invented that one. I don't really know any other one-liners, though. I used to have this deadpan one where I was like, I sometimes go to the morgue and I ask if they're accepting walk-ins. This arc is incredible and only going to get better. Yeah, for real. I actually had some jokes written down, but I don't know where that piece of paper actually went. It's funny you guys should mention my jokes because I do think of jokes quite a bit and I do write them down. Sometimes I just steal them from TikTok, honestly. There are women that scares men away too, Shelby. Tiny Fairy, I agree 100%. There are abusive women. We have seen that before. That exists for the reason. There is this Black Widow stereotype of very evil women, and that's true. We've seen the women that kill their husbands with antifreeze and stuff. Ugly is not about the appearance. If you don't show your personality, that can be perceived as ugly too. Men who hold back and don't share their thoughts and feelings are unattractive to me. Interesting, Isabella. I don't think it was naturally directed at you, Steven. I don't think it was really directed at any one person. You have a right to feel the way you do. Thank you, Napalm. Every short guy I've met has a Napoleon complex. Might be. They might be projecting their insecurities. Wanting decency and boundaries is healthy. Thank you. A lot of times rejection is redirection, and I wish people would take it as redirection. Yo, Tactical, what's up? A Congo! Thank you. I could write some more one-liners down, although most of them I take from TikTok and I make them my own. When I drive past a cemetery, I look at all the people living my dream life. The only date I want is a date on a tombstone. People donating a girl that generalizing male are a problem. I have gone into it the entire stream, Beast Davy, that I did not mean to insult every single person. I don't know how many times I have to say that. If you missed it, you can rewatch it later, I guess. If you're actually interested in hearing what I have to say or not. Your favorite sad girl, back at it again. Welcome back. You're welcome, Dusty. What do you think of Asmongold? Asmongold is rich as fuck. He's playing an incel to resonate with other actual incels, but he's not actually an incel. He could get laid any day of the week. He's articulate. He has that deadpan sense of humor. A lot of girls like that, and he has money. So he's actually just playing a role. I worked in a restaurant for 3 years, and most attractive women from the couples I saw were the ugly, overweight, short guys. Interesting. husband isn't an incel, he's just an idiot. Recently, he's actually apologized for some of his past behavior. You want me to change the title to what, Dylan? I'm talking smack of particular types of men who harm women. It's not all men, but it's always a man that harms women. So if you resonate as a man and you think you are part of that demographic, you can go. Absolutely twisted. He is a strategic thinker. He's a very intelligent person, and he's absolutely cashing in on that persona big time. He followed the money all the way to the right, says Way of Zombie. I know. A lot of men do. Because like if he was actually real about his values, he would probably not have to do that. He'd probably just do something else. It's not always a man that harms women. No, but in most cases it is, though. 90% of cases it is. I've been harmed by women as well, and I'm sure you all have too. Like Pearl. Yeah, exactly. Honest question, do you think you scare away men, you don't realize it? I haven't really pursued an actual date recently. Probably it's been almost a year since I've been on a date at all. So I haven't been attracting men because I haven't been going on dates. Those men ruin dating for other men too. It's interesting how short-sighted people were in the comments section. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I don't even think they watched the whole video. I had a girl fake a pregnancy to try to keep me from leaving her. Yikes. That's kind of counterintuitive though, because most guys end up leaving during pregnancy if they're going to leave at all. Shelby, low-key, you should try stand-up comedy because you are articulate and your different opinions. Oh, thank you. Maybe I'll try that, Alejandro. I really don't know much about comedy, but maybe I'll take an improv class one of these days. Yeah, a lot of people can't comprehend the word most, and it's always registers as all in their heads. Yep. I think good men have a sense to stay away from negativity, and yet we have other men who are actively participating in negativity for clout. There are two types of people in this world. Raymond is beyond repair. He doesn't want to change, and he has created an entire personality over hating women. I have made one entire video about my views of certain types of men, and his entire channel is about bashing women, and he cannot handle one discursive video that he disagrees with because he's very fragile. I'm pretty left, actually, Way of Zombie. I don't try to be apolitical. Anybody that says they're a moderate is usually far right. And they're just saying that because they don't want to get dumped. That was a big W yesterday, and Prosper keeping the video up. Thank you, Napalm. I'm glad you support it. It has a lot of dislikes and a lot of comments, and I was surprised at how many comments it got. It has almost 3,000 comments, and I can't keep up with them all. Yep, I call them incel farmers. There's male and female creators that farm incels. I don't want to become that, Napalm. There was kind of a pipeline for me to be able to do that. But I wanted to scare away the ones that were dangerous, and that's what happened today or yesterday. I'm neurodivergent and I go on energies mostly. I have great pattern recognition and I can spot a manipulator very easily, says Isabella. I watched the whole video. It was hard because it was so long, but I watched it. Thank you, Cable Planet. You didn't have to. I know it got a little repetitive and boring in there, but I really do appreciate you watching it. No, they would not approve if I dated Raymond. They don't like him at all. They do know about him, though. What didn't I learn, Reform? That I'm going to receive backlash if I say things that are against what you guys believe? I mean, whatever. I manipulate my subs. How do I do that? How on earth am I doing that? You don't have to be here at all if you think I'm being manipulative. Oh my God, 8 or 9 hours, Jesus. No offense to the Lord or anything. I might start an art stream soon. I'm going to say it one more time. Not all lonely men are dangerous, but some men are dangerous because they are lonely. All apples are fruit, but not all fruit are apples. Okay. I have a borderline personality. I think it would have been diagnosed by now, but you know what? It's possible. I might have borderline personality. It's anything can happen. It might be. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think people should probably do the things the legit way if they're going to come into this country. That's just my opinion. So when you would know that most guys aren't like the guys Shelby talks about? I don't know. Who's calling you a rapist, Sodak? Who is calling you a rapist? In the EU, carrots are fruits? Dang, I didn't know that. You didn't say that on your video. Be Stevie, I know, and I already mentioned that like 4 times on this video that I did not address that particular topic with a sufficient amount of nuance because a lot of people took it in a way that I did not intend it because that is what I said. And now I, for the 5th time, have once again explained it and reiterated that that is not what I meant, even though that is what I said. Because I'm not always the most articulate person when I'm writing these videos. I don't know that there's a better way to say things until it's misinterpreted. BPD is a huge fear of abandonment. I'm definitely not afraid of being left alone, Sodak. I am not afraid to leave. So maybe the word is not BPD. Maybe the word is dysregulation. I can be dysregulated. You made a video and a man lashed out for 8 or 9 hours screaming and ranting about it? Oh my God. They exactly proved my point, Napalm. Exactly. People say all the rude stuff, but still comment. If you don't like her videos or what she posts, then you're free to go. Yo, Krillov Index, are you saying loneliness in men is more likely to make them a bit more apathetic? I have no idea about that topic. I don't mean to leave you hanging with that question. Am I saying loneliness in men is more likely makes them a bit more apathetic? I think that there is, I don't know, is it the chicken or the egg? Are they apathetic because nothing to do is working, or is nothing working because they're apathetic? I mean, I have no idea. I think that's an interesting question that I don't know the answer to. Would I talk to my mom or sister like this? Oh, not me though. Don't get how your video is on YouTube if a man said that about women. Be Stevie, have you even seen the internet? Like, because that's just not even true. There is literally called the Whatever Podcast. And if you've never seen the Whatever Podcast, consider yourself blessed because all they do is bash women. There are women bashing channels all over the internet. I mean, it's an entire industry. What are you talking about? It's okay when she's lonely, but not when we are. Rules for me, not for thee. Interesting, Reform. If you're choosing loneliness, then that is your choice. And that is not an incel. Because an incel is an involuntary celibate. If you are voluntarily remaining celibate, you are not an incel. $139 is high for my sub count. I really don't know what's into like what is high and what isn't for a live stream. She's a victim of experiencing what we are bad for experiencing. What are you even talking about? Raymond mentioned before about meeting you in person in Georgia. No, that's not going to happen, MJK. We've never met in person, and we are never going to. I really don't feel safe around him. Definitely notice myself becoming more apathetic as a lonely man. I just feel detached. It is an issue because all these women want the child actors. I don't think Beastevi has ever talked to a woman, honestly. Raymond hates left-wing women, but comes onto you. Why? Because he wants to abuse you. Thank you, Lucy. I'm glad he has not gotten the chance to do that, because if he had actually been good at manipulating me, and if he had actually put on this air that he respected my opinion when he actually didn't, and if he was doing all this hatred behind the scenes off the internet, I would have no idea that he actually hated me. And I might even at one point decide to meet him in real life. And we don't know how that would end up, do we? But Raymond is very impulsive and he can't keep his mouth shut. So now we actually know that he's a dangerous and vindictive person that never actually respected me in the first place. He's shown his hand before he even had a chance to even bluff it. It's actually hilarious. I think men often underestimate just how evil and abusive many men are towards women. I agree. And so they get mad when women speak out about it because they're afraid it will hurt their own dating prospects. D Doctor, it reminds me of this new thing in Sudan where men are crying in the streets because they raised the age of consent to 18. Because they don't want anything that empowers us, including information, and information is empowering. And she explained what she said, and she meant what she said. I said what I said. W for Shelby, go on it. Thank you. Thank you, Alejandro. Napalm, I agree. I don't think it would not be safe for me. It would be very dangerous. Reform Stoic, you didn't experience that. It's a story you heard in a classroom. Oh. Women just want safety. Amen, Merrick. Anyone here on MC Bedrock Edition looking for a Realm invite? I'm not sure what that is. I could care less about all this incel stuff, but Raymond has been one of the most cringe YouTubers I found this year. I agree, Izzy. He's crazy. Yeah, Raymond wanted me to see him in Ohio, MJK. He said he was going to Florida for an out-of-state love, and then he wanted to meet up with me in Georgia, but I just ignored it. I'm sure he could dox me if he actually wanted to. It wouldn't be that hard. Shelby is just an angry bald guy who lives and complains about shit. I'm never going to give a guy a chance again that I don't feel like it's going to be worth it. The thing is that we as women are told by these types of men that we are bad people for not giving them a chance. And this is the 5th man that I've given this type of chance to. I'm like, maybe he respects me for my mind. Maybe we can have a discourse about our opposing viewpoints. But no, that's not what's going to happen because he doesn't respect me as a person and he doesn't want to hear what I have to say. He didn't even let me speak. So, anyway, with that said, abusive men have no problem attacking women and are not in the lonely men demographic. Nice guys who care too much about women feelings are the ones in that demographic. They tore down Michael Jackson too for having positive songs that expose the system and for buying most of Sony stock, who stole from many artists. Yeah, because he beat the system in a lot of ways. And then the house always wins, so they found a way to get it back out of him through scandal and shit, extorting him that way. My victim mentality is unmatched, Richard. Although I'm not the one over here crying on an 8-hour stream that a girl hurt his feelings, am I? No, I'm not. So which one of us is the victim, Richard? Were those men tall, handsome, bad boys? No, they were not. At all. And what people don't understand is that when you don't go for the man with options, these desperate guys are dangerous and they will try to harm you when you try to leave. The most dangerous time for a woman is when she is exiting a dangerous relationship. That's when she's most likely to get unalived. That's a fact. People ask, why doesn't she just leave? Well, leaving is not made easy by these types of men. They don't just open the door and say, have a nice day. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. They hunt you down. They smear you. They talk shit on their YouTube channel. They do all this shit to tear you down because they can't control you. So they try to control the way people see you. Yes, Reform, I have emotions that fluctuate. I know that's crazy, isn't it? Is that weird to you? I already addressed that in this video. My bad. Though I didn't mean to say you. I was talking about Raymond, not you. It's all good. If you don't feel safe and comfy, leave. I have a hard time trusting myself. My gut instinct is really messed up. Did you watch the true movie called Cleveland Kidnappings? It reminds me of Raymond. I'm so glad that I've never ended up on a true crime scenario because I'm sure it could have happened. there were just situations where I had thought I had built enough rapport and trust with a man to trust him to not attack me when the door closed and we were left alone. And that was my mistake. It's not even like I was in his bed. It's not even like I was naked. It's not even like I was drunk. It's just that he saw me entering into his apartment as implied consent. And I'm very lucky I was able to get out of that situation because it was almost an assault that was completed. It really was. But I managed to get out of it. I don't really even know how. He could have done whatever he wanted with me, but I talked my way out of it somehow. Just a reminder, consent is never implied. Would you be happy with a non-Chad man though? Is he respectful? Like forever? I mean, I've tried being with non-Chad men my whole life, and they are the worst people because they are insecure. And what I've noticed is that when you date a man, when you date down as a woman, these men will try to possess you, tear you down to their level to feel more comfortable in themselves, and then accuse you of only dating Chads. Because the reason the reason why I would choose to date a man that would be slightly out of my league is because I know he wouldn't freaking kill me if I tried to leave because he could replace me the next day. And there's an element of safety in that people don't really understand as a man. When someone can replace you, they are not going to waste their energy on killing you. When you are someone's best option and they can't do any better, they will do things to you that are absolutely diabolical. The guy that I hooked up with in California, he's still out there. I haven't spoken to him in a while though. Second fiddle mates never work. I see the consequences of it every single day. Insecure men in my experience are the most deranged. Absolutely, Bonnie. How do you know he wouldn't? You're judging someone's actions by their looks. What are you talking about, Forever? I don't really understand that. So grateful you were able to make it out safe in a situation I've been taken advantage of, so stay safe. Thank you, Sassy. It was really scary. I feel on edge all the time, and I'm always concerned that something else is going to happen, and I'm always concerned that I'm going to be blamed or impregnated. Shelby, it sounds like the assault was because you were hanging around yokels and with alcohol and drug issues. Interesting. I didn't know they had a drug issue, though. That attractive guy could easily be an abuser, yet you assume he couldn't be because he has options. Less likely to be an abuser if he has options, to be honest. My personal experience, though. He could still be a sociopath. He could. I'm sorry to hear that, Axel. It's very difficult. How attractive you are has nothing to do with his ability to kill somebody. I think that's probably true. Most of the guys who whine about women wanting Chads obsess about women way out of their league too. Kind of hypocritical. Very true. I've never once had the urge to assault a woman. I'm glad. Most people think they're entitled and they don't have to get consent. So well said about leaving an emotionally unstable and desperate man with no other options versus leaving a man that might be sad for a few days but isn't going to try to hurt you or imprison you. Exactly. Exactly. Reform, what are you talking about? I already reiterated and I established what I meant versus what was interpreted based on what I said. I'm not going to be an apologizing person if you disagree with what I said. If you're uncomfortable with what I said, you could say that, but I'm not going to apologize for making you uncomfortable. It's not my responsibility to cushion your ass when you watch a fucking YouTube video. If you want mommy to powder your booty, go back home. Shelby, what's your favorite country? in the world to visit? I don't know. An IQ of 186 is like one of the top in the world, I'm pretty sure, Colorado. I'm pretty sure mine is pretty low, though. It's pretty average, actually. You wouldn't be happy with a non-Chad guy that's a good man because you automatically assume you're going to want to leave him. What does that even mean? I don't understand that. Maybe I'm misreading that. So what's the opinion for non-Chad men? Just be used as a doormat? No, don't be used as a doormat. One of the most attractive things you can do is have boundaries and say no, Apollo. I think we all need spiritual awakening in America. This country is terrible for having relationships. Yeah, they're raiding the chat for real. He's in a raid, honestly. It's whatever. I can hold my own. They can do whatever they want. Views are views at this point. We're almost at 150, so like the chat and counteract the bots. The commenters are having a cry here, like she said, just facts, and she said in a reasonable, respectful way, manosphere videos incite violence and hatred towards women. Exactly, Bonnie. Precisely. And I make one video, and everybody has a little fit about it. It's crazy. Thank you, Claire. Even when Shelby shows vulnerability and hurt, she remains courageous and strong. She doesn't let people take advantage of her. Love your confidence. Thank you, Alejandro. I appreciate you. Reform Stoic is a troll for calling out your BS. You got a major issue that you will never work on. I have lots of major issues, Seven Stroke. I'm a human being. I've been through shit in my life. I have major issues. I'm a flawed person. I'm an imperfect human being. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a perfect person. But the thing is, whenever I hold myself accountable or I said, hey, I fucked up, people take that as a license to like dogpile on me and attack me. It's like you can't be honest about being a flawed person without people, I don't know, holding you to an unmanageable standard. It's kind of weird. Even when I already read that. She compared the experience of leaving both the non-Chad and the Chad man. Yeah. I just think it's easier to leave someone that's more attractive than you than it is to leave someone who cannot get any better than you. If you're out of a man's league, you're endangering yourself by remaining around him. You cannot be friends with a man that is not within your looks match. Like, if you are even befriending a man that is below you in looks, you are going to be endangered and he will try to get in your pants at one point or another. And you're not going to see it coming. At least I didn't. I ended up in a very dangerous situation and I had to excavate myself from that. Luckily, I don't even know, like I literally have survivor's guilt when it comes to how close I could have been to having a forced pregnancy. The manosphere has done much more damage to the way women view men than men realize. Women are quiet about it, and the damage is immense. Thank you, D Doctor. Yeah, I misspoke, Null. I misspoke. I didn't mean to say that all lonely men are dangerous. I meant to say that some men are dangerous because they're lonely. I kind of forgot to put that part in. Because when you're writing these things, you don't really realize how people are going to interpret it until it's put out there. I'm not a professional speaker. I don't really know how to anticipate how certain things I say is going to be taken. But anyway, is it possible I could get 100K subs on YouTube? I think it's possible. I don't really know how I'm going to personally do it myself. How many do you personally have right now, Colorado? The comment section spoke for itself on the video. I am right. Thousands are all wrong. I don't think they're wrong. They just have an alternate opinion, Rally. And I think I could have articulated my points a little bit better. That's why it's predominantly against what I said. And if she were to say that, then what? Do you get a cookie or something? What? If men would talk to women as opposed to lashing out at them, I feel like things could be solved. It's just weird to lash out at people for communicating their boundaries. Are you still obsessed about subscribers count? I've never really been super obsessed about it. I think it just happens organically. So yeah. Hey Shelby, I'm a real person, not a troll. And I say with honest, be patient. You will find the one. I myself am finding right women. My ex-girlfriend in past, we work out. That's great, Mr. Feathers. I'm glad it's working out for you. I know. You know what's funny is that Raymond is over here like pining for Stacy's and then accusing other women of being able to attract better than him and thinking that these people that are within their league are Chads simply because they're better than him. I'm not going for 6'6" male model billionaires, you guys. I'm realistic. I know what I can attract based on what my mother can attract. And if my mother can attract a six-figure provider with 2 mentally ill children in tow after a divorce during perimenopause, I think I can probably do it. So I give my mom some credit for that one. Shelby is not the only woman talking about this online. You think you can control her because she has mainly male subscribers? You don't owe her. Thank you, Isabella. Forever just admitted that you guys were right. Forever just said, I was wrong, but now you're going to be forever alone because you proved me wrong. Wow, way to take an L, dude. I've been taking L's this entire stream, and I never went over into the corner, the sad corner, and pouted forever. Okay, go pout. Go cry about it. I know why I'm alone forever. I have a feeling I know. To order professional what? Oh, like an SW? When it comes to choosing a partner, she'll lean toward whatever her instincts and biology guide her towards. You can't force yourself to want something you simply don't. Exactly. And I've tried to force myself to like men that I'm not attracted to, and it completely backfired, Twisted. You don't get to choose who you're attracted to. And women are more selective than men. That's just the way it is. I appreciate all your authenticity on this video. This issue is not talked about enough, as it should be. Thank you, Sassy. I should get into kickboxing or jiu-jitsu. Mr. Jabba, I've actually really thought about that. I'm thinking about just doing powerlifting first to like get my basic strength in order. And then I might be doing some martial arts as well. If you could change one thing about men, what would it be? I don't know. Violence towards women, probably. I noticed you stopped being seen as a complex person by those the moment you express contrary views. Exactly. Very good point, Mava. People were respectful of me so long as I was parroting and putting them in an echo chamber. But as soon as I broke them out of that and they realized, oh my God, she's a human being with different views, they completely changed the narrative on me like that. And now there's a lot less people watching my channel, and I'm glad for it. I think that video was a filter. Yo, Zephyr, what's up? I really appreciate your courage. I'm a man, and I was sexually assaulted when I was 14. Thank you so much for sharing that. Your video about not ugly, dangerous, everything you said is spot on. Zephyr, I'm so sorry that you went through that, especially as a child. That's unbelievable and very difficult to go through. I just, likes and W's in the chat. Let's give Zephyr some support for sharing that, because that's pretty brave to let everybody know that, because it does affect men and women, and not enough men come forward about SA like that. The older I get, the less trust I have in other people, men and women both. When I'm doing my own thing, I'm not lonely. I'm at peace. That's good, Nick. I'm glad that you have a choice in that. Richard, I have never in my life dated a Chad. I've never in my life attracted a Chad in my life. I've never even pursued them because I know they're out of my league. That's just not realistic. You guys make assumptions based on this red pill rhetoric that's just not even true to reality. Raymond is always looking at pictures of women insulting their looks, calling them ugly. Oh my God. He's the one calling them ugly, Lucy? I just watched Raymond's reaction video to Shelby. Have you seen it? He's saying her video was about him. Lloyd, what a crazy man. He's personalizing a video that was literally just, he makes it about himself because he's crazy. And you know what's crazier about that? If it is about him, he's doing what's called the Streisand effect and effectively bringing more attention to what he doesn't want people to notice. If he would just let it go and not talk about it, no one would even make the association of that video being about him, which it's not. Crazy work. You do Muay Thai. It's good for people who have a tall, slender figure. Okay. I've always wanted to know how to throw a punch and grapple. I agree. They should broaden their perspectives, Twisted. Thank you for saying that because it's getting a little bit old. I'm getting too old for that slang. Thank you, Merrick. It's time to grow up a little bit. Biology, attraction is due to biology, so it's objective. I don't know if that's so true. Seeing colors is a biological function, and colors are very subjective. What about pretty boys? I really don't know physically. It has a lot more to do with personality type. Yeah, it's better to just ignore you-know-who. We're not even going to mention him at this point. We might even put his name as a blocked topic in the chat. T, thank you so much for being concerned about my safety. It means a lot that you care. The drama between you two is very entertaining. Interesting point on a man with options being less dangerous. Thank you, Jake Day. Hoots in the chat. A strange one. You missed a whole freaking lot. I'm gonna be real with you. I really don't want to rehash the entire thing. Most Muay Thai classes pair their other classes together with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm afraid of getting bruised up with Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I don't know if I have the coordination to do Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm really curious about it. 100% know the vibe, but for me, it's more than that. I know you wouldn't trust me on this one, but when you've been betrayed by the closest to you, it hit hard. Cam, it's always the closest people to you that can do you the worst. Thank you, Remy Gator. I'm glad you're stopping by. If you become a fighter, do you want to be lean or more of a powerhouse? I really just want to be able to throw a punch in a clutch situation and maybe know enough self-defense so that someone that attacks me who's untrained can be a little bit disarmed enough for me to escape. Obviously, I'm not going to beat a man's ass. That's probably not possible. I just need enough knowledge on how to survive common scenarios when it comes to assault. I'm probably a 4 out of 6 in the face, but I agree about the Chad dynamic based on the men I know in my own life. Prevention is the best for self-defense. I agree with that, Merrick. But I've unfortunately been in a situation where I trusted the wrong people. Because when you're dating men as a woman, you're playing Russian roulette with your life. And if this man decides that he's going to take advantage of you, there's only so much you can really do to make it stop. But I do agree that crime prevention is probably the best for that. You have a deep personality, and I need to see more. I need to explore and dig more, such as showman. I don't even know you were into jiu-jitsu. I don't know the first thing about jiu-jitsu, Yuza. I would be starting as a complete rank beginner at the age of 32, and that would be a really steep learning curve for me. I got gnarly eye scar on my face when I was practicing sparring with my black belt. Oh, I don't want to do anything competitive. I hear that there's a difference between like a competitive black belt and a dojo black belt, from what I understand. There's a very big difference from being a competitive on a professional track with jiu-jitsu and actually just doing it because you don't want to get essayed. My powerlifting art might be happening in January, Alejandro. We're told there's trouble in 1812. Maybe some dude in the chat are also historians. Yeah, I like Shelby. I followed her because of the UC stuff. I had a lot in common. I have cerebral palsy, and I've been here since her first stream. Cable Planet, we love you. Not to be okay. That story, because I knew someone at IRL that had cerebral palsy. He ended up being a complete dick, and he started asking me for nudes after I quit working at the same company that he worked for. So I don't know. That has nothing to do with you, obviously, but he was not a cool person. I thought we were friends too with that guy, but he's terrible. Obviously has nothing to do with the disability. He just happened to be a jerk that had the same disability as you. I probably shouldn't have shared that. I wonder how many incels are in here thirsting after me. I don't know. It's crazy work. Grappling styles are the best for women. Check out the Technical Martial Arts by Rokas. I'm running out of ideas. I think that, thank you, Sassy. I'm really disillusioned with men. I've had people turned against me so many times. People are not loyal. They'll like you as long as you are saying and acting in a way that they find palatable, but most people are, they don't give a fuck, you know? Thank you, Edwin. Mary's Room is an interesting philosophical mind experiment concerning colors. In Name a Paper, I might find that interesting. There are some men that have an issue with smart women. They get scared of interacting with them. I guess so. I really don't understand that, but whatever. Oh, are you being sarcastic, Zodak? I missed it. That must be the tism. Most people are looking for someone that will benefit them. I think there's a mutual level of benefit that has to happen with a relationship, but not everyone can be a benefit to you at all times. If you want to play the long game, you have to stick with people even when they're on the downswing. Unless they're chronic bad decision makers. Like if someone's a chronic bad decision maker, then you can't do it. I've expressed some pain and frustration, but I'm curious, what hopes and dreams do you have? Where would I like to be in 5 years? Jeez, I don't know. I'd like to have a successful art business where I'm making a living doing all this and building this channel into something that's an evolutionary channel for my life and kind of just my way of leaving my mark on the world. Yep, Sassy, that's very true. I've had to reject people because of behavior that I didn't like, so I understand when people do the same thing to me. Just because I've been rejected doesn't mean I can't have boundaries. Just because I've made mistakes doesn't mean I can't say no to people doing that same thing to me. Because we all have to stand to learn. Because people will make you feel like you're not worthy of saying no simply because you're a human being that's imperfect, who's made mistakes. And then they'll use their feelings against you to keep you in silence. Your art is beautiful and deserves to be appreciated. Thank you. How much money do you roughly make per month on YouTube? I haven't really gotten to a point where it's very consistent yet, but I think this month might be my first consistent month. I'm not making a full-time income, Thunderbird. I'll put it like that. It's not enough to move out. It's not enough to pay rent with. And you're probably right about the hundreds of thousands of views. But I I think if you have multiple streams of income, it can be a little easier. My channel does need more female subscribers. I don't know how to attract them though, Isabella. I didn't really intend for this channel to attract men in the first place. It just happened to do that. I didn't really have a diabolical scheme at the end of the day. Autism was very rare when I was a kid. I knew exactly one autistic then. I find it rather positive that you found your combative spirit, Shelby. I feel like you're getting better. Thank you. I had been ground down to a pulp to the point where I was afraid to fight for so long that I allowed people to walk all over me for a very long time. And discovering my voice has taken years. And I guess it's relatively a safe way to do this on the internet, I guess. I don't know what it's like to have a high IQ, Ian. I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's a burden or not. I dated a bald man before, and he was so abusive and insecure. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yep, digital stalking is still stalking. I really don't know what my rights would be with this. I know he has freedom of speech. Thunderbird, that's great. Congrats. There's a lot of women who are on YouTube that have a predominantly female audience. I don't even appeal to the male gaze. Like if you guys watch my videos, I'm not like wearing a bikini or anything. I'm not even trying to appeal to the male gaze in an active way. I don't even wear makeup most of the time. You might not agree with everything you say, but you're allowed to have opinions. Thank you. Don't let life make you. I have been transformed by negative people before. When we were kids, the only diagnosis were basically nonverbal and those requiring 24/7 assistance. Exactly. I don't know what your local art scene is like, but there are plenty of local zines help spread the art. Yeah, that's true, Creepy. Maybe I could look at some local art stuff and try to do that. If Raymond had a full head of luscious hair, I don't think it would change the way I feel about him if he had that behavior still. Is Raymond still watching? That is ridiculous. Yeah, he's a pervert. He is an absolute pervert. I'm counting a commission I'm working on right now into the 9K amount. That's pretty awesome. Get into tattoos. You could make some real money. I really don't know how to do that. I don't think I would be very good at it because I'm not really the best at thinking on the fly when it comes to designing stuff. My longest relationship was about 4 months. I think you may have a large male audience based on the stats that men primarily experience these sorts of social struggles. Interesting, Noel. I guess you're right. I think your intellect and honesty because you're very substantial in the way you speak. Most people are also neurodivergent. Thank you. I'm here because I appreciate the raw honesty about what life really is instead of polished version of society. Yeah, thank you, Twisted. Oh, Raymond said you should send me a donation. Okay, he's sending me super chats now. Kind of sus. Thank you, Remy. After all that, now he's sending you guys over to give me super chats. Thank you, Jeremiah. My AU ADHD ring keeps you listening. I'm glad to see that. Well, if Raymond is sending people over and actually telling people to donate and give me stuff, then I'll keep streaming for about 10 more minutes just to see if that works. I forget that most men don't understand that most women have been essayed. But, I don't really understand like where everyone is at in terms of their interpretation of what I say. So they're going to take it how they're going to take it. Hopefully this clarified things. This is my super chat whistle. But to truly capture a woman's heart, it's all about being able to synchronize with them in a vibrational energy. I love MJ and I love Prince. I know I brought them up because they are perfect examples of men who are not traditionally masculine who have become very successful. I have 5 daughters and one has been essayed. I'm very sorry, Arnell. That's pretty much the stats, 1 and 5, between 1 and 5 and 1 and 4. What car do I drive? I'm not going to tell you that. I don't want people to figure me out. I'm really sorry to hear that, Edwin. That's really horrible. And I'm sorry for everybody that's been going through that healing process and dealing with the level of dissociation and displacement that happens when you're going through that. People can lose their jobs. People can go on the streets because of this type of trauma and make it worse for themselves. My stepdad is a very big supporter, Nikki. I'm very happy he's in my life. My hand whistle startled your cat. That's crazy. I understand where you come from, and it's hard to hear, but you're not wrong. Thank you, Arno. I'm not sure, Musical Cat. Maybe you said something. Do you have any tips for people who've been raped? I've never personally... I have survived attempted assaults. I've never been through one that was completed, and I don't know what to tell you because I think I would be very, very damaged by that if I went through it. I would probably struggle with ideations about my life being over. I would probably really have a hard time coping with that. I wouldn't know what to do. I love that you think if you set a car, make and model, people will flag you down. Like, entitlement, Mink? You're the one being entitled. I'm allowed to say no. A boundary is not entitlement. Let's remember that. Thank you. Women don't like men as much as men like women. Only women can be happy alone. Most men don't even bother to learn or care about how women think. It's all an inconsiderate problem. Interesting. I think it goes both ways, though. Women have only been human beings legally, their own individual people, for about 50 years, Thunderbird. So we've been doing all the feeling and thinking for you. Trust me. We've observed your nature more than you have. Believe it. I think women have understood male nature long before men ever looked at female nature. And male nature, in its dark aspects and its shadow aspects, is very violent. The shadow aspects of masculinity are dangerous. They cause wars. They cause crimes. They cause murder. And women have a shadow aspect as well. I keep thinking and feeling for us. Yep, women had a lot to talk about. Exactly. The majority of my family is women, so I was raised to be protective of them. That's good, Capable Planet. I'm glad you're one of the good ones. We have to understand it's for our survival. Women don't need men until money is involved. You know, the only reason we ever needed men for money was to sign off and co-sign on a bank account. And now that that's not a thing and we've caught up in the workforce, we don't really need them at all. Except the fact that some of us still want them. But that's not me. You remind me of A.N. Hearsey, Ali, describing how she was brought up. Interesting. I don't have a job, bruh. True, Grove. I go into that all the time. Women still need men for money. Okay. The problem is silence. Phoenicians invented money. So many incels in here. Your art looks like I would find it at TJ Maxx. I don't know how to feel about that, Mink. I mean, it's probably not meant to be the most expressive, unique art. I'm trying to make it accessible, kind of like in a Thomas Kincaid kind of way, and that's been intentional. So I understand if like accessible art that doesn't really have an inner message isn't your thing, but I am intentionally making this to be a retail level of design. That was my intention. So you've picked up on something that I did on purpose, and I'm going to take it as a compliment. People gaslight, guilt trip, and manipulate and abuse, and then they have the audacity to say, ask why you're upset. Exactly. When you speak on the nature of men, you seem to be speaking on the nature of Scots, Irish, backwards, hillbillies. I don't know. Maybe that's them. I really don't know. I should probably start the art stream soon. I'll probably just take this to a 3-hour stream and then end it. Bleaksy, if you think I'm such a loser, why are you here? We could definitely do an art stream. I think that will filter out all the raiders. Anyway, I have not said anything that qualifies as hate speech, Alien. You are taking offense to an idea that you disagree with. You are actually also projecting. So yeah. Gentlemen, and I use that loosely. There are 8 billion people. There is someone for you. Thank you. I understand that you need to belong, but refusing to hear the problem is the problem. I am not refusing to hear the problem. What is the problem? You haven't even stated what the problem is. Done my plain drawing. I hope it looks good, Merrick. I'm sure it does. If man, it would be hell for you. Maybe so, JX, but being a woman isn't easy either. It's a hard all around. Dale, they are very difficult to find. There's nothing hateful, she said. Thank you, hostility. I literally have not engaged in anything that is definitively identified as hate speech whatsoever. So yeah. The older I get, the less I want to be around other people, men and women both. They are plenty assholes. Exactly, Nikki. Oh, okay. Thank you, Arnell. All good men are usually married already. That's not true. I think that's a limiting belief system. I don't subscribe to that, and I rebuke that belief system because that's not true. That just means you want what you can't have. And you're relying on a social qualifier to see that he's been already vetted by a woman who's chosen him as a good man, so you don't have to do that yourself. And I rebuke that limited ideology in the name of the Most High. There are 3 single men for every 1 single woman. Probably. My favorite MJ album. I can't even think of the names of them right now because I haven't listened to them in a very long time. But I know Vanessa Carlton is coming out with a new album called Veils. I just saw it on her Instagram today. It's coming out next year. And it's probably going to be pretty cool. While they're trying to bully you, then it's consuming their time. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you're getting interaction, so in a way they're pushing your page. I agree, Arnell, it's true. Isabella, thank you so much for reaching out. Yes, I do digital. I do a lot of mock-ups for my traditional paintings in Procreate first. I don't want to look chic. I quit actually smoking a while ago. Do you just run into the opposite direction when you see a man in public? I try to, actually. If one approaches me, then yes, probably. But anyway, I guess I can start maybe on a new thing. I'll probably start on a stream in like 15, 20 minutes. So you never answer my question about God. Like, you hold on to all this negativity and factual hypocrisy about the world and then pray to God. I know it's a little bit weird. I know that's a little bit weird. I still believe in a higher power. I kind of like casually believe in Jesus, and I casually read the Bible just because I think it's a book of wisdom that everyone should like have a working knowledge of. And I kind of just use it as a colloquialism, tongue in cheek. I'm not really saying that I'm a hardcore believer. Hope that clears things up for you. Why can't men understand why we're scared of them? Exactly, Strawberry, because they're not concerned for our safety. They do understand. They are weaponizing their incompetence and putting the onus on us to keep ourselves safe from them. And then they blame us when we're no longer choosing any of them. Isn't that crazy? They are playing dumb. It's weaponizing competence. For Sketchbook Live, either screenshots that leave space to keep them in the original. I'm actually going to do one that's similar to the owl one. I don't know if you guys remember that. As you guys remember this owl, I'm going to do one that's a little bit similar to that, but I have to get it started first. I have already kind of started it. Are you sure that you aren't using past trauma from dating now? I don't know. All right, I'm going to tune off and then come back in like 30 minutes. I really have to pee. So we're going to do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. See you guys in my art stream. Bye.